Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is David Turner and I'm here with my friends. One of them's called Matt Murray.
Hello, I'm a friend.
There's another fella called James Farley.
Hello.
And the final friend of the evening is Sean Bell.
Hello, I'm the final friend.
There's no particular
friends.
order. I didn't put you in any particular order before
Yes,
you
you
get
did.
all worried about where you
That's
sit.
the last,
in
mate.
I'm
get
number
it,
one.
Don't worry.
I'm number one.
And when I say that Sean is the final friend, that means that there are no more positions open
Yeah.
for my friendship. That is officially closed now. I don't want to meet anybody else apart from our Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights and Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Jack Oven, Grey Dragon Claw, Colin the Carwanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, My Dog Skip, Dean, Evil Mammal, Conky Donkers, Full Nels Conga, Laser Quest, congratulations on 500 episodes, Adam Staff, 42 Sources Span, James S, and a return in Full Nels, which Matt hasn't updated since last week because I think I announced Dr. Wookie
Did we?
as a return in Full Nels last week. Yeah,
I guess I didn't
thanks for that, Matt.
unbold it.
We're going to talk about that at your review.
I
think.
updated because James S. I updated it because their name had changed. I just failed to update the Dr. Wookie.
Doesn't excuse you for the mistake you made. You can't just say, "Well, I did one thing right once."
I did lots of things right. Just failed to. But I mean, I thought you as a professional broadcaster would have said, "Actually, no, that's all. I've already done that. I will not repeat that, knowing it's a mistake." But you just went right through it. So,
listen, because I'm professional, I'm read what I trust the admin team. And
yeah, but
maybe I shouldn't.
As a broadcaster, you should also be thinking, "Have I said this before? Have therefore."
Probably shouldn't trust the admin team. I'm not in the mood for this sort of argument right now. It's too hot.
Well, fucking get used to it, mate.
Say, we should, like this show. I don't know how much sense we're gonna make.
Those are the most fun.
I mean,
ones.
James should be all right. James will be fine.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
James will be the most lucid one.
Yeah.
James, can you carry this show for us?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Can't
first
wait for the
40
last
minutes.
half an hour where he usually tunes the fuck out. Right. We will, you can support the show by going to patreon.com/TCGS. We're recording the bonus show this week. I'm very much looking forward to it. Last week, we watched not one, but 2 episodes of the Generation game back to back. One with Brucey, a little bit touchy-feely, to be quite
He
honest.
was a bit handsy, wasn't he?
And,
I was more disturbed by the Brucey one. than the other
weird, isn't
one.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, we should say we watched the Jim Davison one, which, we were sitting there going, what's he going to say? And the truth is not much, to be honest with you. It's
Very well
just
behaved.
for some reason they decided to not do a proper episode of the Generation game and instead had some of the wildest editing I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life.
So I said,
So was that
I
episode
really.
like a one-off in that regard, or was it? I thought it was
No,
just
I
they
bet
changed the format.
that's just the format.
Yeah,
That's
they were updating it for the late 90s as opposed to the mid 90s, which are completely
Yeah,
different.
definitely. Neither of them were fantastic. Oh no, I tell you what, I thought the games in the people don't need to know. Sign up patreon.com/TCGS if you want to watch us watch the Generation game. I want to do more of those. There was part of us afterwards. The next morning we would text each other saying, "Can we just drop the video game stuff now and just watch episodes of the
We're just going to focus on
game?"
old TV, yeah.
Just the Generation game, actually. I think is the. I mean, there's so many of them. We could really make some sort of podcast out of that. Patreon.com/TCGS. Should we get to the feedback from last week's show, Matt?
Yes, we're going to start with congratulations on 502 episodes. Dave messaged, not to rehash old arguments, but they're about to. But I would like to throw support behind David as reaction to the Star Fox game.
Thank you.
Star Fox came out in 1997. There were limitations then on file size, graphical ability, and control schemes. However, it was a fantastic game when it came out. Spin forward to 2026, 21 years later, and they have improved one of those things without a shadow of a doubt. The graphics are improved. Have they improved the controls? We don't know. Have they really pushed the envelope in terms of what this game could be? No, we know they haven't. It's tiny in comparison. In the same year, we get games the size of Crimson Desert or even Forza. To have a game as small and limited as the original Star Fox 64 is a huge disappointment.
Before you continue, Matt, before you continue, I do want to point out to our listeners that this is James has got his back up, and I know that because that's the closest I've ever seen you to your microphone.
Yeah.
He is honestly, steam
Everyone
is
can hear
coming
him.
off of his head at the
I
moment.
am,
It's
I've
wild.
got
Okay,
thoughts. But go on.
let's
Okay.
finish it. Let's finish.
Is it the same as Zelda and Ocarina of Time? No, not at all. We have had a Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in the last 10 years. The Zelda franchise has innovated release on release, so re-releasing their most famous game of the franchise is a nice way to show off how far we have come. Star Fox is just insulting. Innovate or let the franchise die. A game the size of Star Fox 64 in 2026 should better be charging £20 if you aren't innovating. One final poke of the bear. Also, Halo came out in 2001, so I'd say David's argument about James treating Microsoft different is also valid. Love and kisses, James. P.S. Sorry for the essay.
All right, so obviously I've got to respond to this. First of
that's
all,
usually how the podcast works.
First of all, you can't compare like a remake to games like Crimson Desert and Forza and stuff like that because this is a remake. This is not. They're not. The whole point, the whole problem with this is that it's not a new game. It's the existing game that they're revamping or whatever. So I don't really see the comparison between those. I do agree though, they should have innovated over the years, which is one of the criticisms that I had of Star Fox Zero. If you read my review on spong.com when it came out on the Wii U, that this was one of the big problems.
I'll be surprised if you haven't. The numbers they were getting reading wise.
I know.
I mean, it was quite
I still get callbacks to that all the time. It's like just people talking about those reviews. But no, that is one of the problems. Like the fact that it hasn't innovated for ages. But this is a remake. It's not something new, and they've said it's not something new.
I guess because obviously one argument is, well, if you don't want a remake, then don't buy it. I suppose you could say, but resource has gone on this rather than a new one. But then you would figure they've only greenlit a remake if basically no one's had a good idea for a new one.
Yeah,
which is still not great.
But we don't know that. We don't know that. This could have been something they've done. They could have had both projects on happening at the same time. This is something to get out quickly while they're in the background, they're in pre-production, whatever it is, on the new big one potentially.
See, they've never seemed to have known what to do with this series. Like seriously, because that's why. He's talking there about have they improved the controls? Again, they tried to do that with Star Fox Zero with the Wii U gamepad and stuff, and it was awful.
Well,
and
I think there was an argument that they have tried to innovate a few times with Star Fox, and people usually fucking moaned about it.
Yeah,
So
Star Fox
here's another
Command.
remake.
Star Fox Command was also where they tried to innovate on it, where they turned it into like a strategy game and space shooter as well. And it's I liked it. I thought it wasn't too bad, but everyone else hated it. It's so this is why they've clearly just gone back to this because they're like, well, this is the one thing that people did seem to like. Let's just do this again and just remake it, which is a shame. But
you said they can't do a lot because it's a remake. I would argue a remake would allow them to do a lot more. A remaster or whatever, yeah, sure. They've put like a fresh coat of paint on it, and maybe there'll be a couple of quality of life changes. A remake, they have the opportunity to do it. They just haven't.
Yeah,
I think they could have made it bigger and better and changed things and have the same rough structure. Like that's why you call it a remake. Like I think they could have done a lot more. But
see, and my point with the Halo stuff. My point with the Halo stuff is that Halo came out in 2001, but we did get the CE edition of that. We have also had like Master Chief Collection and stuff like that. It's never felt like that's been like a dormant game. That's been it's felt like it's been part of the conversation for years. That game,
and it's going to continue further with Campaign of Old.
Well, the point is, I don't think you can compare Star Fox with Halo because Halo has been continuously relevant for like the last. Well, okay, maybe not now, but it was relevant for years.
You had the hunt Combat Evolved was being remade, but then you were defending Nintendo that Star Fox 64 was being remade. That was my point.
I'm not defending it. I'm saying I can understand why they've done it. It's like because I don't know what else they're going to do with this at this stage.
All right. Okay.
Well, they could probably lean into it and do what they did to Zelda to StarCraft, surely. To Star Fox, surely.
StarCraft, yeah.
StarCraft was good.
Look, but my point is this, and my point was at the time, like maybe I didn't get this point across well enough. It's not the fact that they're remaking Star Fox as an entity, like that, I'm not that fussed about. It's where Nintendo are at the moment.
Yeah.
And we bought this new console last year, and after the initial 2 games that come out in the launch window, there's nothing on the horizon that I go, that's why I bought the Switch 2. And if their next game to try and convince me that it was a well worth purchase is a remake of Star Fox 64, that's why I was going, what the fuck? What? This is really?
Yeah, that's completely valid because there isn't anything like
I'm
really
glad
coming.
you've come around to my way of thinking, James. That's nice.
But hopefully we'll
Completely
see. I
valid.
mean, they promised there's more stuff, but I mean,
They have, haven't they?
but it's. I mean, it is worse for them, I think, than it is for Microsoft and Sony as well, because at least Sony's got Wolverine or whatever coming, and Microsoft's got Fable and other stuff coming out. And look at Nintendo, and it's like, what?
But this is what I was saying last week. I don't know what that next thing from Nintendo would be at this point. A new Smash Brothers? Okay.
I hope
but,
not.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the new 3D Mario, isn't it? There will be
They
3D
were
Mario
very-
coming next year.
Yeah, but Matt, I don't think there's definitely not a 3D Mario coming next year. Like,
Well,
I'll
I mean,
be amazed if there's a 3D Mario coming next year.
That was what the rumor was alongside this and another one, wasn't it? It was like 3D Mario next year, not this year. This year is Star Fox and the
But it took
Ocarina
them
remake.
so many years to go. Like the team that worked on Odyssey worked on Donkey Kong Bonanza. It took them so many years to get to that point. And if we're saying 2 years after Bonanza comes out, the next 3D Mario game comes out, like that's quite a big leap, I think. That's.
But if it's
I'm
on
not-
next year,
I'm not sure.
bloody hell! I mean,
And even with Zelda as well, like Tears of the Kingdom wasn't that long ago, considering how long, and like and that came out relatively quickly after Breath of the Wild because it was mostly the same world map, and
Yeah.
built on the same foundations, right? Whereas the next one has got to be something really new. So
But
that's
also-
the amount of pressure on that is unbelievable.
But you see, for Nintendo, I don't think they really probably care that much because there's games that are going to come out. They'll be like Pokemon games and stuff that we don't care about, but other people do, and they sell a lot of games. But then also there's all the third-party stuff as well that's come out. Like if you only own a Switch 2 and you don't own any other consoles, like this doesn't apply to us obviously, but there are people that they just own like one thing or whatever. Then actually it's not too bad at the moment, like because all the stuff like Pragmata's come out on this, Indiana Jones, all of that stuff has come out on here, to a good quality, and so what I'm saying is if you've got lots of other consoles like we've got, then yeah, we can play all that stuff already on other machines that are more powerful. But for some people, they're not bothered about that.
I'm not those people, am I? I'm the person that has got the consoles and has loved my Switch because there's been constant quality coming out on that system. And I got a Switch 2, and I'm like, yeah, Mario Kart World was okay, but didn't live up to the levels that Mario Kart 8 did, and Donkey Kong Bonanza was really, really good. It's not Mario Odyssey levels, but it's it's a
close.
very, very good 3D
very good, yeah.
platformer. And nothing else has interested me. And I was interested in Metroid Prime, and then I played it. It's that
one of the
was
best
my
in the series,
point. And
mate.
it's what's lovely is that it's nice to see you all come over to my side of the argument there now, including you, James. I'm quite surprised. I thought you would have, doubled down on your ridiculous opinions from last week, but no, you've stepped down and I've not had an apology yet, but I'll take it as one. So
one other thing about the
nice way
Switch-
to start the show this week.
is that I also thought, okay, Switch 2's here, brilliant. Now I can just redo what I was doing before and buy every indie on the Switch 2. But I also haven't really been doing that like I thought I would. Because I stopped buying on Switch towards the end because the quality wasn't where it needed to be compared to the other consoles or PC. But yeah, I haven't even done that. Like
I
I
also
thought.
stopped doing that as well because it's like I usually just buy them on PlayStation, mostly because they're cheaper, and they're usually then on Switch 2, and secondly they also perform usually better as well. And so yeah, why not just get
I
them
will
there? And I can
say
play them
Switch
portal as
2
well.
will be a great way to play Mina the Hollower next week, but I think I might be the only one who cares about that.
No, I'm quite looking forward to it. I mean, I'll wait for reviews. I know not a lot about it, but I know a lot of
It's
people are
very
quite pumped.
James, I would say.
Oh really?
I don't know if you've looked into it, but yeah, it's the new game from the Shovel Knight lot.
We are
But
really
it's-
going away from the original message, the original piece of feedback here. But I remember when it was hot outside, usually meant that there was nothing coming out. But it seems to have gone the other way. I mean, this year it started really
Yeah,
slowly.
the summer drought is just not so much a thing anymore, is it? I don't think.
No, I mean, when you think about the games that have come out recently and now the games that are in the pipeline, you know, what we just a few days away from James Bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow? Is it Tuesday? Is it?
Yeah,
Is it? Fucking hell.
I've pre-ordered that because I'm quite excited. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, you love a bit of Bond, don't you?
Well, it's that, and it's also Hitman, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I loved Hitman. I thought it was great.
And also the ladies, you like the ladies, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on.
He's made himself chuckle there, look. Could you imagine if he makes himself faint?
I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of faint, the music director, not to imply that Matt might be some kind of poser, but that was obviously the wrong opening melody to the song Numb by Linkin Park, not Faint. Faint goes more like wee, 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 obviously. And then they come back because I corrected myself. The music corrector corrected, shit, just resume the episode after frantically pausing to send a message in doing Matt for being wrong, but turns out I'm the one that's been done. My recommendation for future, just let your fuck up sit to allow miserable bastards like myself a small amount of satisfaction for being correct while you guys are wrong. Yes, I was wrong. And then even in the Discord, they're like, well, actually, that's not even the best Linkin Park song you could have chosen. So, hey, you know, it was a multitude of mistakes. But
you panicked.
Just pick any Linkin Park song and I'll happily walk out to that, is basically what I'm saying, I
The
guess.
problem is Matt didn't start listening to Linkin Park until we started this podcast. So
Fuck off.
him trying to...
I wish I had a bleep button on this new stuff.
What you get a new one for? He doesn't have a bleep button. It's missing vital functionality, Matt.
Yeah, no. Right, Barry Ben has messaged, hello lads, last week when we were discussing gaming laws you would implement, it reminded me of my most hated video game trope that I would ban on day one of me getting elected. In RPGs, when talking to a merchant, I absolutely hate it when they have a snarky line of dialogue for you if you don't buy anything.
Yes.
From Software are particularly bad at this. The amount of times I bought a useless item just so I don't have to hear, ha, suit yourself then, dickhead, or something of the like. It's a virtual version of buying a lemonade to use a pub toilet. It does my head in.
Yeah, 100%. The even worse one is fucking Tian Wen in Ark Raiders, who will just fucking have a go at you whether you buy anything or not. You just show up to the shop and she basically tells you to fuck off.
Some people are into that though, Sean.
So,
Yeah,
do you want
true.
my custom or not?
It's like, I've been coming here for months. You're still threatening to shoot me every time I want to buy a gun. Will you just leave it?
I should say I'm not some sort of I'm not regularly a moral hero, but
In real life or games?
in real life.
Okay.
But the one thing that I do stand by is that I believe that in every public toilet, like including ones in pubs and everything, you should be allowed to use them. I think that is a law that should be implemented in this country. So I just do that now, and it's brilliant because a few times you get confronted about it. I'll walk into the pub, go and use their toilet, go to walk out, and a member of staff will go, "Excuse me, that's for paying customers only." And I go, "Well, I can't get it back now."
Yeah, just put it back in.
Leave it.
Yeah,
I gather the UK is especially bad for actual publicly accessible toilets. We just, compared to Europe or whatever, we just don't.
It's just
really do
awful.
them anymore.
The funniest ones that I've had was I took Harry needed the toilet, so I just went into a Costa. And he went to the toilet. They'll come out, and he went, "That's for paying customers only." And I went, "He doesn't drink coffee, mate."
More of a Starbucks man.
Little laugh from a few of the.
I won't go into
Everyone
detail.
applauded.
Oh yeah, everyone cheered.
Everyone stood up and cheered. Yeah,
Everyone
applauded.
clapped.
Good one.
I won't go into detail, but I'm currently 2 for 2 on going out for a meal with my wife and having to inform the staff about something that's taken place in the gents' toilets. Not me. Just a situation I found.
Someone else did.
Well, this is it, because you got to go to the staff. I'm like, I just got to let you know, someone, not me, has had a really bad time in the gents. And
Okay.
Sir, you were in there for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I tried to clean it up, but I just.
But then more came out.
Circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
Kept coming out.
It's like that when I got here. I mean, I often, if I do go to a place, maybe it's an independent coffee shop, I would feel guilty and then maybe buy something on the way out. But if it's a chain, I'm less fussed about going on Starbucks or Costa or McDonald's or whatever if I need a toilet. But if it's an independent one, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll buy a little something just to sweeten the day. I don't know. I feel a little bit guilty. So I don't always, but I did this morning.
I mean, I don't like to bring this up because you're probably just going to have a go at me for it, but it's really irritating here because you have to pay. Literally any toilet you go in,
Oh,
you have to
really?
pay, and it's really annoying. It's
See,
really
that
irritating.
shuts old Sean up there, wasn't it?
does.
So it's a British problem actually, and the rest of Europe they're all fucking
Hashtag
great. For it.
rejoin.
See, I
What's,
wouldn't.
what's that? They're really bad. Right, okay.
So I wouldn't mind if it meant the quality was very high, but it's really not.
It's not keeping
The quality of the
the
toilet.
hotels out, because I assume that's the thing, isn't it? With cafes and stuff, is they don't want just anyone wandering in, making a mess.
Yeah, using the facilities.
And then,
when,
and then just leaving. I suppose it's just the making you buy something. It's not that they want your money necessarily. It's just trying to create a bit of a barrier to stop just anyone wandering. Sorry,
Right.
Video games podcast.
Yeah.
What we?
But
doing?
I need a wee,
Okay.
Sean. So I'm going to walk in and walk out again with my head held high. All right.
That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co to leave your feedback.
Okay. Shall we get to the news?
Yeah. So this week, Bungie is planning significant layoffs because Destiny 2 development has ended. So Destiny 2 is over after 12 years, and there's no new project in the pipeline at Bungie. Apparently, this is according to, again, this is Bloomberg. New projects have been pitched, but nothing has
Not
been
now,
greenlit.
Sean. Not now, mate.
Not now, Sean
It's
Bell.
extremely hot. All right. The
Oh,
judgment
so
has
people
gone out
losing
the
jobs is
window.
funny to you, is it? Okay.
I'm actually really sad about this. Is my coping mechanism.
Doesn't sound
I'm
it.
sad about this.
Yeah.
Go on.
fair
Tell your
enough.
mouth.
So, according to Bloomberg, there's going to be significant layoffs now, and Destiny 3 would be very expensive to make, hence the lack of sort of any action on doing it. So the focus is now on Marathon, which is underperforming. And reporting from Bloomberg before said that Pete Parsons, who was the CEO, who is no longer the CEO, they're saying that he overspent on new projects that were subsequently cancelled, and other projects like Marathon spent too long in development. So, yeah, I mean, Bungie's. This is a sad thing,
Feels
isn't it?
It's
bad,
very sad.
isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
because the way that this news was delivered was weird, wasn't it? Because there was the initial Destiny 2's like over. There's going to be this one final expansion, and then that's your lot. Obviously, a ton of feelings about that, and lots of really nice sort of farewell pieces being written and stuff. And then it was like a day later. Oh, so and it was it was Destiny 2's ending, but people are pitching new stuff. And then there was a Bloomberg report that was like, no, they're just letting most people go by the sounds of it. And whoever's left is going to be working on Marathon. Really fucking sad.
It's so sad. Like playing the Destiny Alpha was really exciting. Just playing Destiny, and Destiny was very tough for the first few weeks or months, really. But we all stuck with it. And some of my most favorite game experience is Destiny 2. I love the campaign. I was like, oh fuck, this is like a really good Halo campaign, and I played a fair bit, but nothing like as much as Destiny 1, and tried to go back here and there, but it was always harder every time to go back because the onboarding felt worse every time. I played the light one a couple of years ago, and I was like, this is, and I was like, I love Destiny. I'm like, what do I do? This is not great. And then you have the single player content being vaulted or removed completely. So even if you wanted to play it from minute one or the whole story, you couldn't do. It's just incredibly sad. There has so much potential for whatever reason, it just hasn't lived up. And Marathon, I haven't played it, so I can't really comment fully. And I know some people are really into it. Because there's other things out, really. I think
you're like, I'm not. This isn't a diss, and I'm not having a go at you, but you're a fan of Bungie. You like Destiny. What stopped you from giving Marathon a go?
Other things come out, and I think not everyone was on it. If it's like, you've got to play this, everyone's on it, then maybe I would have pushed and done it. I've no doubt I'll probably enjoy it, and I thought it looked cool for what I saw, but I just haven't made the time for it. And I'm also in a different place in terms of when I was hammering Destiny, I was putting every minute of my life into that pretty much. It was just so good, and I'm not really there with this, with those kinds of games these days. But I have no idea. I'm sorry, I have no doubt I'll probably love it, but just haven't jumped into it. But what makes it sad is, we would all be pumped, I think, for Destiny 3. Like, okay, this is a reset. Hey, let's bring the old Destiny back, as it were. But they haven't done it for financial reasons or whatever reasons outlaid here. But that's the saddest thing as well. Like, so much potential just gone.
It's had a really good run, though. I mean, 12 years is quite a long time.
Well, so 12 years, that includes Destiny 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is sort of fascinating that for a game that was such like a fixture in my life and just felt like a real institution. Like no one else was doing quite what
Yeah.
Destiny and Destiny 2 did. But then also when you look at all of the expansions, you are like, like the highs were incredible, but the hit rate wasn't fantastic. Like Destiny 2 kind of stumbled out the gate. I really enjoyed it initially, but then even I ran out of stuff to do after a month or so, and all the hardcore fan base just sort of blitzed through it in like a week, and we're like, what the fuck do we do now? So there was a lot of complaining then, and then like the first year of Destiny 2 expansions, which like when you think back on it, I barely remember them. But then obviously, then we got Forsaken, which is fucking brilliant, like really pulled things back. The Witch Queen campaign is fucking fantastic. Lightfall was shit. I mean, I enjoyed it enough, but yeah, it didn't leave a mark. And apparently the final shape one they did in 2024 was brilliant, but obviously gave everyone a natural off ramp because it kind of ended this big story. And they've been doing stuff since. They're like, oh, it's got Star Wars in it now, and I was like, oh, you kid,
Yeah.
like, that feels really desperate at this point. But then equally, there is something intriguing about now have like the idea of being able to go back to Destiny 2 and just be like, it's static now, it's done. There's nothing's, like if I go back and play it now, I'm not like, well, is this cool new gun I've just got, is it going to be shit next week when the new expansion comes out? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just finished.
If it's finished and they should put all the single player stuff back in, that would be pretty fun to go back and.
That would be nice.
We do have a bit of feedback about this relayed. Actually, Commander Jace, I save this until a news story. All right, lads, with the news that Destiny 2 is effectively dead, I just want to shout out the TCGS clan who made the last few years of the game an even better game for me. Aside from its game gunplay, Destiny's greatest strength was the ability to forge connections between players as they tried to take down a stubborn raid boss or hunt for elusive loot. The guys I played with from the TCGS clan exemplified this, with a good dose of humour and pleasant lack of toxicity. I distinctly remember struggling to finish off the last wish one night. After finally getting a job done, I checked my phone and see a load of messages from my wife begging me to hurry up as downstairs had been invaded by Daddy Longlegs. Though interest in the game has waned in the last year or so, I always look back fondly on those times. Who knows if there'll be a Destiny 3, but I hope there is. And if there is, I'll see you there. See you from Commander Jace. And there'll be so many of those stories. I mean, we've all got those stories of, like, I was desperate for this, and someone joined my clan, and I was joined like the group, and managed to take down, a raid or whatever it was.
The raid,
or strike.
Man, no one else has come close.
Anything
to what
close,
those
no.
raids did. And again, I gathered not all of them were brilliant, but certainly all the ones I did were fucking great. Whether it was muddling through with other people who didn't know what they were doing,
that
or
was
just
most
being
fun.
guided through by experts every time, I was just like, "Fuck, man, this is unreal." Just that mix of just unbelievably tight first-person shooting with all the RPG stuff and these essentially like combat puzzles, like it's just beautifully done. And nothing else quite fills the same space, I would say.
No, it really doesn't. And I think, honestly, when you think about, obviously, the route Destiny have been, or the route Bungie have been going down for the past, 12 years, games as a service games, right? I don't know where you go with that anymore. I really don't know where you go with that anymore. You look at probably the most successful in the past couple of years is Arc Raiders. People already turning on that because they're saying there's not enough content coming out for it. So what happens is when you release a new service game like this or Marathon or Arc Raiders or anything like that, you have to hit the ground running, and then you have to like pelt it with content. Like, and the amount of money you must have to invest in a game like that. And what do you when you release it, do you then start the ball rolling with all the content that needs to come out with it over the next few months, like straight away? Are you really going to invest in that? Because there's that chance that it gets released and flops and no one touches it. And that is a shit ton of money down the drain, And then there's also the fact that there's such a wide range of types of gaming that you have to cater to. You will have people playing your your service game, games as a service game, that will be playing for 2 hours a week, and you'll always also have people playing that seven hours a day. It's got to be so hard to balance.
Yeah, I mean that's why so many of them don't work out.
No,
but
and
I feel like
the fact that
service games
Destiny
have just-
2 ran for as long as it did is a real sort of credit to that team.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame that the follow up was Marathon, which could have gone on and done big things, but because it didn't hit the ground running like it should, I do worry that that's going to go the same way. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Do you feel like the prevalence of service games has like warped people's expectations? Like I was looking
100%.
Yeah.
you know, like Peak, the quote unquote friend slop climbing game. So basically, the developers of that Landfall and Aggro Crab basically had to put out a statement because they announced that like, right, this is the last update for it, and everyone went fucking insane. So they had to put out a statement being like, we always said this was never like this wasn't a service game. We were just adding stuff as and when. Like we haven't asked for any additional money. I think the game's only about £6 to begin with. But everyone's just like, what do you mean I have to stop playing this and move on to something else? It's just so strange.
Yeah, I think also people get told what they like. There's a lot of streamers like service games are made and destroyed by streamers, and they play these games for a long time over a very short period. So when they're going, I'm bored of that game, I'm moving on.
They're playing it in a way that's completely unnatural to anyone else watching. Like,
they're in like the top 0.01% of players that are spending their life on these games.
Arc Raiders, as you say, there's this ongoing narrative that like people are falling off it and there's not enough to do, etc. 16 million copies that's shifted. They announced.
Yeah.
That's all right. Like,
it is, but it doesn't end there. That's the problem with a game like that. It eventually it will foul because, and I say that in a loose term, in that eventually you're going to run out of content to put into this thing, or at least at the very least run out of the funding to justify paying out for putting money into development for new maps and enemies and stuff.
And also, I mean, people get bored as well. Is the other thing, and it's like, I mean, you're even going to see that with Fortnite eventually. Like, eventually that will fall off. It's not probably anywhere near yet, but it will happen. It's just a matter of time.
So I think just getting to the end of that fault there, I don't know how Bungie find their way out of this. It felt like their next game should have been Destiny 3 because I think it was a safer option than the Marathon. I like the fact that they tried something new. Don't get me wrong. I'm always up for a good developer trying something new. But ultimately, I don't think Sony have the balls to press forward like that anymore. And I think it's a worry that Sony will look at and go, shit, Bungie are a very good studio with a lot of credibility and they've got a lot of fans. They've released their next thing, and it's not been as successful as we wanted. How are they going to look at that and then address the other developers in their stable? Are they going to go, no, you do what we know works. We're not going to take risks anymore. I think that is worrying.
I mean, this is all like a lot of this. I think with Marathon in particular it's the Jim Ryan effect, of like the whole of the live services stuff, and whereby I think if Bungie had worked on just like a multiplayer and single player sort of Marathon game, I think it would have landed a lot better than a live service, than what we got with it. But that was never going to happen because that's not why Sony bought Bungie, was it? They bought them because they wanted them to be a live service, But
it's only 4 years ago, 3.6 billion 4 years ago, and I mean, will they even last another year? I'm not sure. It's just so sad and an insanely costly experiment and experience for Sony.
Because you'd think that Sony, if anyone, would recognise that their biggest games aren't, the Destinies and Arc Raiders and stuff like that. They are single-player focused experiences.
I think I have realised that now. It's just been a while to turn the ship.
Yeah, now they've realised it.
Yeah,
because it
was. Yeah, but they should have realised that a while ago. Because you look at some of their big successes. Uncharted and Last of Us.
And, God of War.
God of War and stuff like that. You just think, fucking hell! If there's one team that won. I just thought they would have got it by now. But
Well, I
guess
think,
they
yeah, I mean,
decided
as,
to kind of shoot
as James said, like
themselves.
Jim Ryan's probably like, hey, look at all these other things making big money.
Exactly.
We've got his IPs. We should do. I mean, like Naughty Dog developed the Last of Us multiplayer game for years, and then that got canned. Like, so they're probably like, look, we're leaving money on the table by not utilizing our IPs and turning them into these multiplayer live service games. But it's just been a while for them to actually like hit the brakes or turn the ship around and say, no, this is too costly. All these other games are not just ours, but others are failing. We've had to cancel loads. Let's get back to what we know we do well, which is these big kind of blockbuster single player narrative experiences. And now look where we are.
A couple of years ago, it was though that everyone was like, we got to get on the live service train. Like everyone was doing it. It was like seen as being
but I said at the time, there's only so many of those games that people will have time for.
Absolutely.
You got to be careful with that, because if you flood the market with those games, it's not going to work. I really hope. Look, I think this is awful news for Bungie. No doubt there are some talented people lost their jobs because of decisions that other people made. That sucks. I really hope Sony look at Bungie and don't think, right, get rid of them, we're bleeding money, and they go, let's get them in a. I mean, what is their first person shooter? Like a single player first person shooter game at the moment? They haven't really got one, have they?
See, again,
that
could have been.
That's not
that could have been
person.
yeah.
It could have been
also
Marathon.
third person.
Yeah,
It could have been Marathon, yeah, but you're right. I just hope that they don't chuck the baby out with the bathwater on this one. Although it definitely seems like that if they're laying people off.
I mean, where will they go with this? I don't know. Like, my Bungie's experience are live service games. They were bought on the pretense that they would help develop more and probably help other Sony studios in the experience and knowledge they've got to develop these other live service games. They've all been canned. Like, I assume like what Bungie was bought for, regardless of whether it's a Destiny or Marathon, was also just to help the slate of studios develop the next generation of live service games, and that's not happening either. It's like, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Sony, there's a new state of play that has been announced that's coming on the 2nd of June. This is all going to be part of. Is this all part of Summer Games Fest?
Yeah.
Like, so it's going to be
is that
officially, or is it
happening?
just
Holy
loose?
shit.
It's so weird, yeah, because the Microsoft one's soon and the PC gaming show.
I mean, I checked today. Like, Giant Bomb have this like spreadsheet of all the summer events. Some start in 2 days' time. Like, these are just with all due respect, lesser known ones that I haven't really heard of, but there are showcases happening within 2 days' time. But a lot of the main ones are over the weekend of the 9th and 10th?
This is. I mean, so Sony's one is on the 2nd of June at 10 p.m. UK time, and it's going to be.
So
over
whose
an
turn
hour.
is it to take 3 months off of the internet? It's a shame that that's not a thing anymore, isn't it? This sounds like the longest one they've ever done, is what I've heard.
For a showcase, I think,
over an hour long.
or state of play, or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've already promised to show some Marvel Wolverine, right? So this is. I'm hopeful for this one. I'm hopeful.
They've also recently announced. We didn't talk about this last week, but they're not going to be releasing single player games on PC anymore. Did we talk about this last week? I can't remember. I don't think.
I can't remember if it was like officially announced, was it, or was it just being floated?
I mean, I mentioned it as like breaking news last week, where but that's been confirmed now, which again makes total sense. Like, people want exclusives, on their consoles, don't they?
Speaking of which,
yeah,
this is the next story. Microsoft have launched. This is Xbox Player Voice, which is like a portal, which is to listen to fan feedback. So.
I'm sure that'll be used responsibly.
So yeah, Eurogamer picked out some of the comments. They said the most liked comments so far have been for exclusives, as the Eurogamer says in all capitals. And
no, I hadn't thought of that.
oh yeah.
But then one of the other comments they pulled out was this, where they said no amount of exclusives is going to get millions of us to budge and buy overpriced single-purpose hardware that's inflexible. Which is quite interesting, because you see, this is where I think a lot of the stuff from the Spencer era is going to bite them, really, because like they went during that time we heard so many stories, where it was Spencer talking about how, exclusives don't matter, it's everything's on everything these days anyway, and all that kind of stuff. People took that on board. Like, a lot of the hardcore really took that on board as being like, that's
of course.
A lot of the hardcore will be happy to move back. I wouldn't worry about that. Spencer wasn't saying that when they wouldn't have been saying that if they weren't so far behind in the
Exactly.
console.
Yeah,
Like,
they had
so,
to.
like,
Yeah.
But that hasn't changed. Like, there's been no change.
No, but that approach didn't work. So I think maybe the only way they can get back to where they were is to treat things like today. It is annoying because I think consumer wise, you want to buy one console and play all the games on it, but that's not going to happen, is it? And
I mean, from a business perspective, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
to,
I seriously think they will go back.
Well, we did for Xbox
to
at the
pre-Spencer.
time.
I think they will have exclusives back, and I think they'll, just like we had like the Jim Ryan era of Sony, and they cancelled those things after he left. I feel like, the Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer era was just okay. That's happened now. Now we're changing. Now we go back to what made us successful. So I fully think they'll have exclusives again, and maybe they'll release things a year or so later on PS5 because they make big money from the games on other consoles. But I really think they'll be back properly for exclusives.
That's the thing, because like Forza 6 has done really well on Steam. It seems like people it's had it's like high up in like the concurrent charts and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. They've obviously made a lot of money out of it
because it's a good game.
Yeah.
And I think maybe
But it will do massive numbers on PlayStation as well, won't it, when it comes out? So it makes sense revenue wise, but not releasing day and date. Maybe a year down the line is like a nice middle ground, but or maybe full exclusive. I don't know.
What I might do is go onto this website and put my own comment and say, do you know what? If you release some good games, that will get me interested.
Yeah, stop closing the studios down.
Well,
yeah.
do you want
on Hot UK deals the other day, as I often am.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what the deal was, but it was something Xbox related. Someone had commented like, "I moved over to PlayStation because of Xbox's forced woke agenda." Which, I mean, what? Exactly. And then someone else had replied with something like, "Always stick with Xbox, mate." And you just think, like,
there you go.
Nothing that has just been expressed is based on anything. Like,
so which one were you?
Yeah, no, it was someone else. He told the staff it was someone else.
So, also, these are some of the other things.
It was someone else down as an episode title. It's a good one.
These are some of the other things people want, according to the player's voice. They want a return to backwards compatibility efforts. They want free online multiplayer separated from Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is like, when John was on the other week and someone wrote and saying, "Oh, how could they improve Game Pass?" And John was like, "Well, put every game on it and make it free."
Yeah.
I said that. No, these are like the demands of like someone in a hostage situation.
Yeah.
And I want a helicopter and I want pizza. And what else do we want? What else do we want?
We can do the
Gold
pizza,
Lamborghini, please. Yeah, go on.
Oh, that's it. That's
Cool.
that's.
I mean, I
the
think the
Xbox
whole
voice.
online multiplayer and Game Pass thing is confusing, but then Sony are increasing. Everyone's increasing prices. So again, they're making money. That I get why they would charge. It's annoying they are, but that's just the way of the world.
Well, and the thing is, like, it is easy to, and I know some people say, "Ah, yeah, but like everything's free on Steam or whatever in terms of multiplayer." It is worth remembering that online stuff on consoles was shit until Xbox Live came along, and we were happy to pay for it because it was just so solid compared to what we were used to previously. And my understanding was that your subscription fee went towards like subsidies for developers who were making online games. I don't know how that still operates, if it does. So yeah, part of me is like, I know it's annoying paying for Xbox Live, but everything was worse prior to that.
I think
like,
it's
with
becoming
Steam
less.
stuff, you're at the mercy of how any given game works, and it's not always brilliant. So.
Yeah, I think that's becoming less of an argument for paid Xbox Live.
Yeah.
When more and more games are using their own online systems for cross-platform purposes.
Yeah.
So, for example, Art Raiders, you do not use a party chat because it actually takes away from the game.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't use party chat if someone else is on Xbox or whatever. You tend to use Discord instead. So I get that argument and I agree with it. It certainly pushed it forward. I do understand why some people these days are going, well, hold on, these games aren't even using half the stuff that I'm paying for. And if it's a free-to-play game, you don't have to pay for it anyway. You could just use the online side of Xbox Live if it's a free-to-play game for some reason.
It'd be interesting to hear the dev side of it, because I remember when I found out that, like with PS3 online games, it felt like everyone you'd always have like the supplemental terms to accept. I mean, it feels like most games do that now. My understanding was it's because if you're releasing a game on the Xbox, Microsoft were just like, these are the terms that our players have already signed up to. You either agree with these or you don't release your game. Whereas with PS3, it was like, well, you can do your own, right? Whereas it feels like every other game I play has got fucking terms and conditions to accept when I load it up now. So
Yeah, that's infuriating. That I hate that.
And what's the
Especially when
deal
you
with
read to the
cookies on
bottom.
every website, lads? Am I right?
Yes.
Like, come on.
So that.
Come on.
I don't want an Annapurna pass. Why have I got
Don't
to
you?
sign up for this now?
I think I do.
No, it used to be a case where they never made a bad game, Matt. But
Well, yeah, and then they made one. Or maybe 2 now. Maybe 2.
They've had a
Yeah,
few.
12 minutes was bad.
There's a couple in there.
Okay, well, largely they've been brilliant. Anyway, this is better than them using Twitter, isn't it? Play voice is better than.
Yeah, true.
But I really genuinely do think like everything we've known for the last like 2 or 3 years is just going to change almost overnight. I'm actually it's so annoying because I'm doing the thing I said I wouldn't do. Where I'm like, this is going to be a really fascinating Xbox show at E3. This is the year, because like we had that for years, and then like all the studios, all the games, and then they eventually got cancelled or closed down. And it's like, okay, well, where are we now with Xbox? But I'm like, they might make some like real big drastic changes. I feel like they should, but I don't know, maybe it's too early for that.
David, can I ask you a question? If you were to submit something to the Xbox player voice, what do you want? What do you want
to know? Yeah.
I've already said that. Good games. I want good games. I'll tell you what. I want a full list of all the British celebrities that are due to appear in Fable. I want that now. I want that on my desk now. That's what I want.
I'll submit that later this evening.
Is it coming out this year?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
This year? Did they say it's going to be this year?
Yeah,
game?
it's this year. Okay. It's billed for this year. Yeah. They did actually say that. They went, just to let you know, that's a this year game. They did say that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, I believe them.
Has anyone used their Xbox voice to demand the return of 1 versus 100?
They should do.
No, that would be cool if they focused on a little bit of that stuff as well.
Yeah, really
before it's time once again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Next story. So this is from Kotaku. This is about Valnet, who own Polygon, Game Rant, OpenCritic, and Collider, and many other things. And this is about a plan from Valnet to pay writers per click, so that you don't get paid unless people read your article, unless it reaches a certain threshold. So previously, bonuses were paid on top of base pay for if your article was performing very well. But according to documents seen by Kotaku, the new system is described as new and exciting performance-based bonus system. So that's how Valnet describe it. So writers will earn $5 per 1,000 clicks, and editors will earn $3 per 1,000 clicks. This is all according to the stuff that Kotaku's seen. But the rate only applies for the first 15 days per post. So,
Fuck off.
so if you write an article and it blows up, after 30 days, it doesn't make any difference. You're not going to.
Fucking
How does that
outrageous.
affect, if this applies to like guides writers as well, like they're creating resources that'll be used for years potentially.
It's that's part of the thing. So the other problem is that almost everyone is classed as a freelancer as well, so they can all be tied to these contracts because they're not locked into existing ones. And then there was a Collider employee was talking to the Wrap in 2025. This is again from Kotaku. They described the working conditions as being a content mill, borderline like almost sweatshop level. And Valnet has also been accused of copyright striking videos that criticize it. and blacklisting writers who complain about the pay. And so this is from Lex Luddy, who was from The Gamer. He said this to Kotaku. He said, a lot of games media written word sites are hemorrhaging hits right now, and that is a combined factor of Google SEO changes, which I understand hit The Gamer quite hard. The prevalence of AI search engines and the fact that Google just this week announced it was shifting its search engine to an AI chatbot type interface, further decimating click-through rates. And I mean, the speculation from Kotaku is that this is also an attempt to maybe reduce headcount, so then people will they'll leave, and so then they haven't got to pay them
pay
anymore anyway.
redundancy.
It'll result in reduced headcount and people being forced to write the most inflammatory shit just to get noticed, and fucking awful, man.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want more inflammatory clickbait headlines.
More divisive stuff. That's what we want.
Yeah, it means. I mean, we all knew this, but it means that they don't put any respect, or they don't give a shit about the writing itself. They don't give that any sort of thought. It is literally just a numbers game, and that is, as a writer, your worth is in the articles you write and how well you write. It's not about how many people click on a website in the first 30 days of it going online, or whatever it is, 15 days.
15 days,
like,
yeah.
It reminds me, like, it's not the same because we don't make a living out of this. But when we were going down the advertisement route and we were considering taking on advertising on the podcast, and we got a few offers that said, yeah, if you say this code, you get this amount of money for every sale. And it's like, right, okay, but how much do we get for advertising your website? Well, no, nothing. It's just only if they use the code. It's like, well, no, fuck you then, because we're like, you're putting no value on us talking about your fucking nutsack shaving cream or whatever you were selling that fucking week.
I mean, they weren't even going to pay us. They just wanted to give us free stuff.
That was.
I would have happily taken a nut shaver.
I fucking wouldn't. Honestly, I hate shit like that. That is real sort of like
David the Bush Turner.
Sorry. It's not just my beard that's great. It's just you just think you've got to put value on the things in the right way. Don't be so blatantly open about how you do not give a shit about the content on your website. Like, it's just absolutely soul destroying when you read stories like this.
Well, I mean, Valnet was founded by Hassan Youssef and Sam Youssef. They also they owned a property that maybe some of us are familiar with called Brazers. And before
Brazers.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, we've caught him.
Oh no!
Good work, James. Good work. Got him, boys.
They're also silent partners in Pornhub as well.
Cool.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. What kind of website is that?
Someone else, not me.
It's just
Says
videos and stuff. Yeah.
Brazers.
What was I going to say? I had other points to make, and I've been derailed now by mention of pornography. Very, very warm tonight, lads.
What is going on in that man's head? That's
Dread to think.
right now.
Because one thing I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have spotted this as well. It's like when writers are looking for work, what they now say is, "I'm free to do mock reviews."
Yeah, a lot of consulting, mock reviews, consulting. Yeah.
I mean, and obviously no shade on whatsoever. It's
I mean that's consultation work is
decent.
Work. That's really well respected and.
But it's quite
really
damning
important.
that they're all like, well, I'm not even going to fucking ask for actual
that's the next
website
thing,
stuff. I mean, putting aside all the reasons why this would never happen, part of me is like, God, I wish there was a website where I could just read all the mock reviews, because I bet that's a really good. There'll be so much good writing being done still that just hardly anyone gets to see, because obviously it's all NDA'd internal. It's mad.
Although my understanding is that they're not actually written to be read by people, so actually they're quite boring.
Well, there
and
is
technical.
that. I've done a few myself. I just did them as if I was. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe that's why they never asked me back.
Yeah, that's why you've only done a few yourself. Yeah, you just kept getting like little quips in there.
You just like little jokes in there, like you do like brackets and you write a comment like dash head, whatever, that sort of stuff.
We don't need pull quotes. We need actual feedback on the game.
Tell them how many G's I'd give it out of 5.
All right.
Okay, final news story is that Nintendo have announced Pictonico. Is that right? Pictonico. This is a new.
I thought it was Pictonico, but yeah, yours is probably
Pictonico. I
right.
mean, who
don't
knows?
know, I don't care.
Made up.
Ah, got
It's made
him.
up.
Got him.
So, this is a mobile game. It's coming out the 28th of May. Free to download.
Right, can you also write down
This is mobile game.
as episode title? Thank you.
This is mobile game.
Brazers.
It's coming out on the 28th of May. It's free to download, but it will have mini-game downloads in the form of volumes. So Volume 1 costs $5.99 like dollars, and $7.99 for the second one. And, I mean, the game looks a lot
God,
like...
what's Volume 10 going to be? That's 70 quid.
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
game looks a lot like WarioWare, but with your photos. And there'll be up to 80 mini-games will be available if you buy all the volumes. And so, yeah. Has anyone watched the video of this?
I
haven't
have.
actually.
It looks fun.
I did.
I've seen
It looks
screenshots
fun.
and that was fun enough.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the
Yeah, it looks fun. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this.
James, can you
it
read
looks-
some of the named minigame titles?
Yes, please.
If I open...
Scroll
video.
down.
I've got them open. Do you want me
Sorry,
to? Or do you want James?
Some of these are great.
All right, so, do you mean the example, right? So, here, here come your school sports stars strutting down the red carpet.
That's a good one. That's a classic. That's a
yeah.
classic game. That. Yeah.
Your boss is hungry and needs your help.
Yeah.
Try to wash away those embarrassing high school memories.
Wish I could.
And then, son won't quiet down. Zip his mouth.
No, that's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, isn't it?
Two old friends reconnect while skydiving.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I thought it'd be funny when I suggested that, but yeah, no. So I, yeah, weird, isn't it? I mean, I cannot wait to see how people get around, you know, the quite heavy
sharing.
moderation, I assume, and when there's a lot of penises and stuff happening, or whatever,
I
whatever
assume
people's private photos are being used for this Pictonico stuff.
Well, because what's nice about this being a Nintendo game is if it's from anyone else, I'd be like, well, hang on a minute, how are my photos getting used and processed? But because it's Nintendo, it's like, no, it will all be on device. They're clueless. It'll just be fine. It just...
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. That
Is anyone going to pay £6 for this? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
the reviews will.
looks fun. Paid £6 for worse than this, I'm sure. Probably on
It is weird though
Brazers.com.
because it is essentially, it looks very much like those, those games you get with Instagram filters or TikTok
Yes,
filters.
yeah.
It
Snapchat
sort of
filters,
looks
yeah.
like that, and they're free. So there is part of me that looks a little bit more interesting than those, but not much. So we'll wait and see. I mean,
magic, Dave. Don't
You
worry
know what
about
will
it.
happen? It'll be out for 6 months, then Nintendo will delist it, and then that'll be it. it's
yeah.
I
done.
love doing that.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll play it for sure.
And that's it. That's the end of the news.
That's the end of the news. We've got lots of games to talk about this week. Lots of new games. I think we should probably start with Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably the biggest release of the past week, and one that 3 of us have been playing. Myself, Sean, and Matt. I was surprised to see that it's been 5 years since Forza Horizon 5. Holy
God, has
shit!
it?
Yeah. But here we are with a new Forza Horizon game. It's funny, isn't it? It's a funny video game. This.
Is it?
It
Funny?
is. Yeah, I think if you jump on at this point, your brain might melt within the first 5 seconds, because it is dopamine hit the video game at this point, isn't it?
I know
It's
what you
like
mean.
you look at the map and there's so much on this fucking map, and it's like, oh, you're racing really good. Here's some fucking points, and then you can use them in a wheel, and then you'll get a free car. And what's that? Your racing's not very good. Great. Here's some fucking points, and you could use that on there as well. It's like, and it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
well,
look, see how the
there's-
map's all full of icons? You've just ranked up. Now there's even fucking more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's and also, do you really like the driving? Good. Here's a garage. Now fill it with shit. Just you got put all sorts of shit in it now.
But like five was the same, right? Because I've been playing a lot of 5 recently, and it's like I find it really overwhelming, that map, because I'm
Well,
like, I
this
don't know
is-
what to do next. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. So okay, it is addressing that, and we'll get to that in a sec. But I think what it is, and my point is that this is the 6th one of these, and in each game they've added new things. and we're at a point now where they don't drop things when they go to the next one. And look, I'm not saying that this is a criticism. It's one of the main reasons why I'm playing it so much is the fact that there's so much to do, and it's so easy to play. It's so fun. That I can just sit there. I think I've spent about 15, 16 hours on it this week, and that is a lot of time in less than a week's worth of, I think it's a week tomorrow, isn't it? It came out for everyone.
Yeah.
Look, they've really addressed what your complaint was there, James, because at the end of every race, they go, here are 4 races that you can try, or 4 events you can try. These 2 count towards your progression. These 2 are just a bit of fun. Which one do you want to go to? And it feeds you through to the next one.
I often say no to that because I want to find one in a local vicinity rather than because it doesn't say how.
It goes for the nearest one.
Oh, does it? Okay.
It just goes
It's
to the
nice that
nearest
they're
one.
like, here's,
alpha across the map sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll exit and I'll choose my next one. But yeah, it is nice that they are doing that, I think. But
yeah, but the types of events are wild. You've got your normal racing, but then that's split down into street racing and rally and
drifting
track
and
racing, drifting, all
point
sorts, of
laps.
Point to points laps. Yeah, all of that stuff is in there. But then there are your usual Burnout Paradise style things with your speed traps and your speed zones and your drift zones and your danger signs and all this sort of stuff, along with little boards that you can drive through and get
the XP boards,
from.
and the mascots to smash through, which are insanely addictive.
It feels like, Matt, you might have dropped off from that now, because at one point, every time, it's really funny, and you can tell that this is really focused on we don't want to make anything feel bad, right? So that's why when you smash into a tree, you get points for landscaping.
Yes, that's great.
And if you fly off of the track and jump 40 yards, you get points for a big jump or whatever, even though you're not actually technically supposed to be doing that. But that's a great example. When you hit a mascot, it comes up at the bottom of the screen showing the person who is next up from you. So if you've got 50 and my mate Nick had 54, it will show that he's got 54, which makes me go, oh, I want to beat him. It won't show you where you are in the whole list of your friends, because that would be annoying, because I would see, oh, Matt's got 200, brilliant. I'm never going to get there. What's the point? It just shows you what's next. And that is just years and years of making things. Yeah, like I said, dopamine hit the game. Anything that might seem as slightly negative, they try and get rid of completely and keep things as positive and chucking shit at you constantly as they can. It's
feel
wild.
Cynical though, does it?
It does a bit.
Okay.
Not to the point where I think when you are aware that it is just chucking shit at you all the time, it's funny. It's really funny. So. Another great example is these skill points, right? So this has been in the game since I've been playing it. I didn't play the first one, played the second one. The skill point system is if you drift, you get skill. It's like building your boost up in Burnout Paradise, right? If you drift, you get skill points. If you get close to another car, you get skill points. If you drive the wrong side of the road, you get skill points.
If you drive behind them in a race, there's loads of things.
Right.
If you drive without hitting anything, you get skill points. If you hit things, you get skill points.
Well, this is it. So initially, when they did that, if you hit another car, that would stop, and you lose all those points, and it was that risk reward thing.
That's still
and it's got
mostly the case, right?
Yeah, I know, but
you have to hit them really hard.
I don't know if you've noticed this. First of all, you could still get away with hitting stuff, and it doesn't stop. Secondly, if you've got enough points to put into your car, you can have a second chance. You can crash twice without your skill points going away now, and it's like fucking hell. Can you imagine having that activated and you don't get your
just on that point before we move on? So you earn whatever, like upgrade points per, and and those can go on any of your cars, but you can, for any car you get, there's a grid of, I don't know, maybe 15, 20, 25 various skills you can put your skill points into to have permanent upgrades for that car. But I'm getting so many new cars all the time, I have still not spent a single one of them. So I think I've got like 90 odd of those points, because I'm like, why would I do this now when I know when I next do another race type, I'm probably going to upgrade into a different car and get a different paint job. So I haven't spent. Have you guys been using them points to upgrade your Cars,
yeah,
I just
I've
haven't
got-
bothered
There's a
yet.
couple of really strong favourites. I know,
Yes,
Dave, you're
same.
also an RS200 man, I believe.
Yeah, RS2, the Ford RS200 to drive around the world in is perfect.
Yep.
It's so much fun.
Mhm.
Like that thing you can chuck about. I've got to say, look, we'll talk about. There's so much to go over with this game, so this will be a scattergun approach for anyone listening. I think the biggest improvement this game has made is the driving. I think the driving feels way better now.
So good. Yeah.
Which I don't know if anyone else has noticed, and I'm not a massive driving fan. Like, I'm not a big car guy. I don't play hardcore racers that often. So take this with a pinch of salt if you're into the likes of Project Cars and stuff. But I really do feel like the driving is much, much better now. Like, it feels like, especially with that car, it feels like you can chuck it about and you're on the verge of losing control constantly, but keeping it under control is what makes it feel so good. Whereas in the previous games, you're like, pick the fastest car to get to this place quicker. This one,
Yeah.
I'm finding that actually I've found a car that I really like driving and I'm going to focus on that. And when I get to use that in a race, it's glorious because it really feels like I know how to handle that car at this point. So for that one, I definitely piled my points into.
Right, okay.
But I don't think it really matters. I mean,
No.
you know, if you find yourself using the same car quite a bit, then I would, definitely pile some points into.
Yeah, I'm
that,
like
because there's some good
every
upgrades.
different race I'm like, I'm going to get a different car, new paint job, and upgrade this and stuff.
See, that's it. Yeah, I've avoided buying new cars actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've really
I do
been
it for every
focusing
race,
on-
unless I.
I've
Well,
been
I
buying
feel
every
like the
car I
races
see.
also. well, with most of the races, is like you're winning too much. Why do you upgrade? Why do you increase your skills? So then I do that, and then okay, now I'm struggling. I'll get a new car. Maybe I'll try it 3 or 4 times, or maybe downgrade the difficulty. But yeah, I feel like I'm still changing cars so much to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to put any points into one particular car quite yet. I like the collecting. I like getting new cars, and again, the new paint jobs and this, that, and the other. But I'm sure we'll do it at some point.
It was probably one of you guys that told me the trick with when you're upgrading your cars is to just always look at the user-made presets. Because
Oh, really?
that's-
Okay.
that's what I
there'll be
used to do,
people
yeah.
who've just put together like dream setups that like, even though so say it sits at whatever it is 700 points or whatever, but they'll have squeezed more performance out of it than another car that's the same point value. If you know what I mean?
Is that the tuning of the car?
Yeah, so
or-
yeah, so you go
okay.
to,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I went into that. I'm like, I have no idea what to do with this because I was struggling a couple
Well,
of
this
races.
is
Like,
it, yeah,
I'm going to
like,
go
I'm
tune the
clueless.
car now. I'm like, I mean, I like cars and stuff, but I've like no way. I'm just going to bug it. Oh, but there are kind of a user.
Yeah, so
made-
you can just find other people's setups,
Oh,
and
okay.
and they're listed by like the most popular. Because
Oh,
what's
okay.
really cool is it guarantees. So even if you get a car that's a complete shiter, like it's a D class or whatever, you can still make it the best possible D class version of itself. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes there might be times where you do it and it's like, well, actually, this doesn't feel the same now. I'm not sure I like it so much, but there's so many others to choose from and play around.
Yeah,
with. And as you say,
the
like,
tuning-
I'm clueless when it comes to that stuff, so it's really nice
Yeah,
to be able to
yeah,
just be
so-
like, "Hello, actual car people, help!"
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, I like that. The sort of community stuff is great for that. It is funny though, because you do look at that and you think, yeah, I'm sure I can work out how to tune a car to make it better. Let me go in. Well, wet left lamp, up or down? Well, down or is it up? Oh, you've made it work. My speed's gone down. My speed has gone down. It's just it's
Well,
like,
and it's fascinating, isn't it? Because I approach this as like a relatively arcadey racing game, which is not to say arcade racing games lack depth, but to find that it does have all that customization stuff, which the series always has, but it has this perception of being the relatively silly one compared to like proper Forza Motorsport.
without a doubt.
But actually, so much of that detail is still there if you want to get into the weeds. Like,
yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
I'm just like, as I say, I'll just take the efforts of more knowledgeable players.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that sums up this game's strengths, right? Is that you can play it exactly how you want. You can adjust the difficulty to play it how you want. You can decide to go into every fine-tuning bit of each car, or you can choose someone else's preset, or you can not touch it if you don't want to and buy a new car for every race like Matt's been doing. You can look at different paint jobs. You can just go for the stock stuff. You can completely, they've added this whole build a garage thing where you get a garage and for some reason you have to clear it out. That I didn't
Yeah,
quite
that
understand
stuff is
why
so
needed
weird.
to
So
do
you
that.
go up to these like, there's loads of garages to buy, and it's like, oh, if you want to buy it, you got to clear it first, and then there's like some wood and dust or dirt in front of you, and you just hover the cursor and press X to like,
just fly around
it's
and click on
pointlessly click these things to clear the planks of wood out of the way. It's like you can buy it now. I was like, I don't know what that's really adding to the experience.
Well,
but-
it was preparing you for when you get into the garage and you've got to clear the garage out completely. Like there's loads of shit
Well,
in the
yeah,
garage.
just-
You've got to do
Again,
that.
you can download pre-made garages that other people in the community have built.
No, you
and
can't. Can you?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
doing that.
What?
there's
Holy
loads of really
shit!
nice ones.
You
People
said
have done
you
really
got
cool stuff with it.
you
Cool.
said you got to clear the garage out. What shit's in there? Like, is
It's
it
like
like old
paint cans
magazines
and-
and
Yeah,
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah.
James Farley doing a podcast in 2002.
Yeah,
there's
unboxing a
all sorts
PS5.
going on. Yeah. So but that stuff you could completely ignore it. I forgot it was even in it until
And we
Harry
should say
turned
that
around and
there's
went,
the
"Oh, I've got a
outdoor
gaming
building stuff
PC."
as well. You get like big
Yes.
open outdoor spaces that you can essentially build the whole fucking town in if you want. I haven't
yeah.
touched that stuff.
No, I
So
haven't bothered. Yeah.
Time or patience.
Yeah, no.
but-
So there's loads of stuff that you can do that you can either get into the weeds of, or you can just completely ignore and play Forza. I'm interested. How you finding the map? So this
So-
one is set in Japan.
Yeah.
The previous
It's
one was set in
interesting.
Mexico, then the UK.
Oh. I really
Sorry.
like it. It doesn't always. I mean, I've never been to Japan. It doesn't always feel like Japan, but then I don't know how much of that is like everything I see of Japan is like a very sort of concentrated. Do you know what I mean? Like here's like the center of Tokyo, because obviously Tokyo is in this, but by necessity, it's quite sparsely populated. There's not many
Yes.
cars about, so it's like right. It feels like maybe Tokyo at 4 a.m. So, but I understand why they've had to do that. And sometimes when you're out in the countryside, you do feel a bit like, well, it's just trees and grass, isn't it? But
Their
probably
trees
that's
and
just what a
grass
lot
is
of
like
Japan's
our
like.
trees and grass.
yeah.
is that similar to Horizon 4 though as well? Because that was like set in the UK, wasn't it? And it was like,
Yeah.
is there a similar perception?
So yeah, like I'm with you, Sean. I think ultimately it's a little bit disappointing. I think I preferred the Mexico map. I definitely preferred the UK map, but that was because there was so much of it that was like.
I loved the Australian map as well. Australia felt really
yeah.
good.
Whereas this sort of, I don't know if it feels unique enough, and I've always thought this about the Forza games look incredible, right? They look utterly stunning. I think they really struggle to do cities and modern buildings, and I think I was trying to think why. As I was driving around Tokyo the other day, and I'm looking around and going, I think it's the lighting whatever lighting they use in these games doesn't really serve rectangle, square, skyscraper buildings that well, and they actually look really flat and almost.
I feel like
almost
nighttime could look a lot more dramatic as well.
sure.
Everything's
Yeah.
just sort of like you can just see just fine without the lights on. Really, it's like it's all just pretty sort of grey looking at night.
It looks pretty damn sick with the neon lights when it's raining though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that looks
but then-
incredible.
When you get into the countryside, that's when you go, this is where this engine shines. This is where this studio shines. It looks great.
Yeah, how far I can see in the distance as well. Like it's
I was going to say I don't know if I'll ever get tired of like some of the off-road races where you're at the top of the hill and you go off a big ramp, and every time I'm like,
that's always
"Fuck
good.
Me, this is it's so good.
I've got 2 complaints about the game that I would like to air now. I should say I'm really enjoying it, and we'll go into more positive stuff in a bit. But there are 2 things that I think are a bit frustrating. One being the day trips, which I think is a brilliant idea but terribly executed. So the day trips are these sort of side stories, and the idea is that you get into a car that they give you. And you drive through like a scenic route around Japan, and a character tells you, "Oh, here is. If you look to your right, you can see this, and that's important in Japanese culture because of this." And it sort of gives you a flavour of Japan. And what I really like that the writing does in those segments is that it doesn't ignore the festival. Like they'll even point, well, we located this part of the festival here because we like this surrounding whatever. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool how they incorporated it. This is so frustrating though, because at the same time as introducing something that is trying to give you a flavor of the country you're in, the setting, iconic things that are on the map and that they're representing within the game. Don't put a fucking speed timer on the top left-hand corner and make it feel like a race. I
Yeah.
don't. What should
When they expressly
happen?
tell you it's not a race, don't
Yeah, I
speed
know.
off. Like, yeah.
What should happen is it should completely get rid of all the HUD stuff.
Yeah.
So your map, everything goes. The little timer on the top left goes, right? Everything's. No other racers with you. You're in a slower car. You're driving around at a leisurely pace. It's still got the race line in it or whatever, so you can still know where you're driving to and all that. It's very clear where you're supposed to be going. But there are bits where it's like, if you look to your left, and I'm like, not right now. I'm driving 250 miles an hour next to another Lamborghini. It's really frustrating because it's such a beautiful idea, and some of the writing in it is fantastic. Like I love it, even when they go, "Oh, there's quite a sharp bend turning up here." So if you want to slack, like I love that. Fit is great, but they've completely destroyed it by not committing to the bit. And I just think it's so easy to commit to the bit.
Yep.
Don't have the other cars in it. Don't have a time like, oh, you did this in 36 seconds. I don't.
Especially when like
shouldn't
the
care
actual
about
time
that.
limit is like 4 times as long as it would ever take you to do the route.
Yeah,
But
It's just-
in the moment, you're like, oh well, shit. Am I on the clock here? Like, what's?
yeah, I'm on a clock. I've got to drive fast. Like honestly, I think it's such a fucking misstep. And the other thing that really disappointed me, I think the event races are probably the weakest they've been in the series so far. And I think they had an idea for one early on that I don't particularly want to spoil. But I think they thought that was cooler than it actually was.
Do you mean the first one or?
The second one, I assume.
The second one.
Right.
Yeah. They also have
they've
one
always been. Those have always been quite obviously fudged.
fake.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Totally fine with that.
but
They need to
more
yeah,
so
they need
this
to be,
time. I think.
yeah, they need to be a spectacle at the very least, and I've not seen any of that yet. And a very minor spoiler here. If you don't want to hear this, then fast forward a little bit. But there's one where you're going down a ski slope, which again, cool idea. You're not racing like 50 skiers. Like I don't understand why that isn't the first fault.
Because people would
Let's
knock them down.
No, yeah, but we've done jet skis in the game before, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
just keep separate from. They separate out
Yeah.
those races. But could you imagine going down?
They
a
could
ski
jumping
slope
over you and
having
all
loads
sorts.
of loads of skiers or snowboarders jumping over you, or all of that stuff. I just
Well,
think
that's what gets me is when it's like, oh, this is unbelievable. You're gonna race against a plane, and then the plane is just so obviously taking the stupidest, most arbitrary route
Yeah.
in order to let you win, and
Yeah,
just doing loads
and-
of stunts and stuff. And you're like,
and
I thought-
really
I
a
thought
lot
race,
of
is
them. A lot of them are planes at the moment. A lot
Yeah.
of them are
Yeah,
planes.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the ones that I really remember are not always necessarily the most. Whoa, look at that. The ones that I really remember are the bikes in the UK one. I think that was where they had the smoke coming out of the back, and there was like 5 motorbikes that you've. That was fucking great. I really loved the one where you were racing against the hot air balloons, where it didn't look like a race. You just saw tons of hot air balloons in the air,
it's
and you're
beautiful,
screaming down. Looked incredible. I'm not playing these things going, oh no, I hope I beat this. I hope I beat this train. I'm doing it for the spectacle, and when you're going down a ski slope on your own, you go, oh, where's this? What
You
you
need to
giving
be-
up with these a little bit?
You need to be being chased by, some people, wearing like yellow suits, shooting machine guns at you and stuff like that, like James Bond style. That'd be more exciting.
I was wondering where that was going.
Yeah.
Yes, the yellow suit people.
Bad bastards, on skis, coming after you.
That would be sick. I thought the first one was great. It was great fun. I knew it wasn't like, oh, am I going to lose? That was still a huge spectacle. But
Sorry, I think we're getting mixed up. So the first one is the obstacle race. That's the first event.
oh, okay,
race,
well,
isn't
yeah,
it?
okay,
And
I
then
know
the
what you
second
mean. Yeah,
one is the
more
other one. Yeah, but
traditional kind of.
I thought that was, this was better in your head. When I was racing in that one, I was like, this is better as an idea than the execution. Other than that, I have sat down and played this game relentlessly all week, and I love it. I fucking love how it feels. I love how it looks. I love how it plays. I love the fact that I've got I don't know, 50 cars at the moment. I love some of the additions, the ones where you're trying to find cars that are in a photo. I think is brilliant. It
Those are
makes you
so
look at the
good.
world
There's
completely
one
different.
I hated just because there's just not enough clues in the picture to really go on.
Which one?
The one that's outside a convenience store.
I'm stuck on that and it's doing my
Yep.
fucking nutting.
That's the one I
problem
had
with
to
that
look up.
one.
Because the
problem
others are
with that
so
one-
clever because there'll be like
Yes.
a bridge and a mountain in the
Yeah,
distance.
and
you're
like, well, which angle from the bridge really is it?
You
Yeah.
can work that shit out and it's really good fun. Whereas there's one where it's just like there's nothing to go off. It's really bad.
Well, this is it. And that one, you go, oh right, it's in that region. Brilliant. I just got to find a convenience store in that region. There are 40 of them.
Yeah.
it's like, and then this one had a different lighting to the one that I kept finding. And then I found a one with the same lighting, and no, it wasn't that one either. And I'm like, oh fuck off. And it's still got the barn finds. I've always loved the barn finds, even though
they're
they're
good,
just utterly stupid. You park up, send the drone out, like it's stupid. But look, it's Forza. It's probably the best version of the best car game. Do you know what I mean?
And we should say as well, like this comes after a load of the staff leaving to form Maverick Games.
Yep.
Which like obviously they will have left plenty of talented people behind, but there was part of me that's like, well, that's going to affect development, right? You can't just take a load of people out of a studio and not affect the culture or what have you. So it's just really cool to see. Like, yes, we're like, I'm really looking forward to whatever Maverick are doing, but also Horizon's still fucking brilliant. So
yeah,
win-win.
it's just great comfort gaming, isn't it? It's really, I mean, I was just relentlessly getting those mascots and the XP boards the first kind of 2 or 3 days playing it, because I'm like, okay, well, I'll just clear up all these purple things on the map. But then I think I said to you, David, like, and it's definitely a me problem. It breaks up the flow of me bombing around the actual location. So I'm like, I'm not just going from point A to point B. I'm like, oh, okay, point A. Oh no, there's a board there. Go left, and suddenly I'm seeing stuff on the map. That's definitely a me thing. But I can't be leaving a mascot if I see it on the side of the road. So it's never just A to B. It's always like A to B, and all sorts of crazy routes to get to where I need to get to, because I'm constantly like,
I would like to
there's a
highlight
shiny
that
thing,
you just
shiny
said
thing,
it's
shiny
not
thing.
A to B, it's A to B. So
Well, I was going to say A to Z, and I thought I'm not going to say that anyway. But
I will say with the experience point boards, really annoying when you see one on the map, you're like, okay, I'll swerve off road to smash that.
I know
And
you're
it's
gonna say.
it's on top of a building.
Yes, and then obviously it's like, okay, I should get the fastest car, and there is often like a ramp or something.
Yeah,
but it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it's
they're
just
quite
great
easy
comfort.
when you remember that you could just constantly hammer the rewind button.
there is that.
Yeah, I've used the rewind button on this a lot more than I have done in previous ones. I generally don't like using it, but this time I'm like, okay, no, I will, because I fucked that corner right up.
Yeah, I've knocked the difficulty up a bit, which I don't think I usually do.
I'm on above
Forza.
average.
Yeah,
I'm fine with.
it's so much better as a racing game when you knock it up a bit. Because
I'm going up and down because I have it as above average, and I'll keep winning, and I'll do it again. It's like one more, no, too difficult, go back down. So I'm kind of upping it, changing it.
Also, there's a big spread in difficulty regardless of what setting you're on. There are some ones that are just like, actually, it's really tough. They tend to be the slower car ones. That you're like, what the fuck is wrong with my car? It's not even keeping up at this point. This is really annoying. But
that's what's so good about racing games in general, where like the first time you're like, I'm like 25 seconds off. It's impossible. Then you'll gradually learn the course and stuff. I mean, the first of the big events is peer pressure, isn't it? Where it's basically it feels like a Trackmania.
Yeah,
it's Trackmania thing where you're racing on these kind of like was it? Shipping containers, shipping crates, and you're trying to get around this thing. I think it's under like 4 minutes or whatever to get the gold, and that was just great. Because you have a lot of space on your shipping containers, and you have to like take tight corners and get the braking correct. And I thought that was such a great event. Are there more like that I've
done at least one more that was
okay, good. Okay, good. I heard it wasn't just
not
that one.
as tight as that one.
Okay,
but
yeah, peer pressure was excellent. I love that. I wait for that to then the second one, which is your more standard kind of big spectacle event. That was really, really cool. But yeah, it's just it's just comfort gaming. It's just really nice. Just you go there, you turn your brain off, you just hit all the all the endorphins and hit all the XP boards and collecting this. The racing is fun as hell. I haven't been too experimental with all the various race types, because often when at the end of a race says here's 4 you can do, and some of them are like, oh, multiplayer games, oh, okay, maybe I'll do this. I'm like, I don't have to connect and race a random person online right now. I'm not in the right mindset to do that, so I've kind of exited out of there, because I think there's like a few of these different proper multiplayer titles, multiplayer game types within it that sound cool. I know there's like the battle royale style one, but yeah, there's some others which sounded cool. I was like, I'm not in the right. I'm not going to do it right now. But
the battle royale ones are fucking fantastic. I've not done one on this one yet. They're just really good fun. They're really good fun. Like, I didn't play them, and I was like a little bit eye rolly at them. And then Harry started playing them on 5, and I watched him, and I was like, no, this is really fucking good. Like, basically, the way it works is you drive around, and you look for these like cars that have dropped. And then you bump into the car and you get that car and you upgrade by finding cars around the map.
Oh, okay.
And then if someone gets near you, they can challenge you, and then it puts up a point in the map somewhere. And if you beat them, you knock them out and nick their car. Or you can upgrade the car that you're in. So you're constantly trying to outsmart people. And then right at the end, when it gets down to 5 people, it'll just put a point in the map, and its first one gets their wins. It is actually genuinely really good.
I should do
I've
more of
not
that.
tried it on this one, so I don't know if that's how it works on this one. But I need to. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. The way these games seem to work is that they find something that works and then just roll it over to the next version of the game. So yeah, I think my ultimate takeaway is that look, it's fucking brilliant. I love Forza Horizon. I'm a little bit disappointed with the implementation of Japan as a place to race in, and I think those side stories are such a letdown with what they could have been. So easily could have been. Like, I would have loved it if when you were driving over certain bits, you lose control of the car a bit, but the camera angle pans out and points at something in the world. You've created this beautiful world. Show us. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is what, and these are side stories that you don't have to do. To take that extra effort to show off what your game engine does. Like, it's really infuriating to me that they haven't taken that step with that, because you just think, fucking what a letdown, what a great idea, and what a bad implementation of it. What's your favourite radio station, Matt?
I'm just gonna.
Well, I mean, mine's XS. XS, obviously, because it's
XS.
like the rock and emo-y kind of stuff. Yeah.
I
All
love
about
a bit of the
Wave, mate.
Are you
Has it still
a
got-
Wave fan? Are you?
What kind of music is Wave?
It makes me laugh because it's all like all the the sort of idents for the station are all like, oh, retro vibes, but there's nothing actually old on it. It's all just like 80s revival stuff like synthwave and whatever.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm an absolute mark for some reason. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that. I mean, I normally just turn the music off in Forza games. You just put a podcast on or whatever. But
Really? Oh, I
Yeah,
like
usually
music.
not fan.
Has it still got a classical station? Because
Yes.
I always like having that on when I'm driving
Yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah.
It's
Has
just
it got a classical station? I've missed that.
yeah, and there's
Might have done.
the one that like just plays Japanese stuff as well is cool.
Did you know the presenter, the radio presenter of Horizon XS is the guy from Biffy Clyro?
Clyro, yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, do you know how I know that? Because he says it every fucking 3 seconds when you get that radio. I stopped listening to that radio station.
I mean, I haven't
especially for
mentioned.
that.
I haven't heard him mention he's in Biffy Clyro, but
I'm
okay.
Simon Neill from Biffy Clyro. Anyway, here's my band that I'm going to play for you now. It's like, hold on, mate.
Okay.
It's just, I want to listen to something else. No, the one that. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to change the subject for something else. Go on.
No, the one that I really liked was I'm trying to remember. It was the pop one, Sub Pop Records.
So, yeah, Sub Pop's good as well. Yeah.
The presenters on that are unbearable.
Oh really?
I'll be honest with you.
Well, the
Quite a
presenter
lot of them,
on
not
Wave
great.
as well, like just like goes on about her cats all the time. It's like one of the writers was like, "Oh yeah, we have this like funny recurring thing which talks about her cats," but every time it's like it just feels so forced. You just be like, "Oh, I'm settling down with my cats." Or whatever. And like,
is it just because it's cats, not dogs, Sean? Is that
yeah,
the problem?
probably. If it's
Yeah,
dogs, it'd be
yeah,
alright.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
definitely.
If it's dogs, it'd be
I
all
should
over.
say, Shields in the chat says so. Opus is the classical station, but apparently it's a neoclassical ambient focused station. That sounds very
Cool.
cool. I'll
I'm
probably
hitting that
actually
on next.
give that a go. Yeah.
What I want is that for when I'm listening to any of the other radio stations, every now and then you can hear the guy from Biffy Clyro getting into the studio and going, "I'm from Biffy Clyro." Like,
Yeah, they import it. Yeah. I haven't done any of it yet, but have you? Any of you done the delivery ones in town?
haven't,
Yes, I've done a
no.
couple of those. Yeah, they're a bit
Are they
boring.
worth doing? 'Cause I want to race
Uh,
fast cars around. I don't really want delivering stuff in town, but is it
I will
fun
do
enough?
Everything that game has to offer at some point.
At some
but
point,
no, I've-
but not now.
I've done most of those. They're good. They're all right. It's just a change of pace, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. I'm sure we'll have more to say about it. It's a weird one to talk about because there's not too much that's new here. The stuff that they have implemented, yeah, I mean, it's decent enough, but it's not something that you really have to do. Like this garage stuff, no interest. However, Sean pointing out that you can just download pre-done garages is definitely going to be the way.
Well, what's the benefit of like decorating all that? Like, I guess, do I get
Just looks
some
good,
stat
doesn't it?
boost? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, it's just fun.
If you're into
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
looks
Fun.
good, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit fun. Yeah, fun, Matt. you against fun?
I
Are
want to
you?
race. I
What's-
don't want to be
what's
like
the benefit of all
building.
this driving around.
I don't want to build a property empire. I want to
Yeah,
race.
fine. But you're the reason why the side quest thing, the day trips are what they
No,
are.
no.
because they're worried about you.
What you said was a good idea. I like that.
Thanks. But
Yeah.
you'd be sitting there going, "I want to race though."
No, if anything, like put me in the backseat of a taxi and tell me about the history of the location. That'd be better. I can move like the camera around. I like that even more.
Right. That's Forza Horizon 6. That's out on your Xbox and PCs if you want to play that game. The next game I want to hear about is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, to be honest with you, James Farley.
Yeah. See, I
Been
decided.
playing this.
Well, you see, I decided to try
a
this
little
because
bit worried about you. I'm a
Why?
little bit worried about you because some of the stuff you've been saying sounds real sort of.
Sorry, what? Sounds like what?
I think that gets my point across. to be
Yeah, I
honest,
think-
Matt. I don't think I need to qualify it. Go on.
So I decided to try this because it got
It's a Nintendo game.
it got some pretty positive reviews as well, and so I just thought I'll give it a go. And it is important to approach this as an exploration and experimentation game, not as a platformer, because it's not a platformer really.
So where have you
It's,
read that line?
Yeah,
I
where's
just
that
made
come
it
from?
up.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Google that.
You look like
good,
you're
good,
looking
good.
very
I just-
intently at the screen.
I know, because I've got my notes written down here.
It's very like 90s, mid 90s dream and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? It's one of them again. Get a t-shirt printed, Sean.
So the game kicks off whereby there is a big book, big talking book. Sadly, not like Dr. Hakim.
Can you go back to reading your notes because that was
Yeah.
whereby there is a big.
If it goes
book.
off piece, it's like,
Yeah, go back to the press release. Come on.
So
Sorry,
this is-
James. This
What the
yeah.
fuck? I mean, what is
You're
the point?
absolutely right.
What
no,
the fuck
you're
is the point
absolutely
of
right.
this?
Yep, you're right.
no.
You're right.
No, it's
You're
better.
right. We're being mean. I'm sorry,
I do actually really want
James.
to hear about
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah, I
So
do
you-
actually want to
you
see if it's
hope-
worth my time.
Totally put me off now, and I don't know where
Yep.
to go. It's
Start from the what was
game
the
any
first thing
good?
you said about the exploration.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's a
Big
good
old-
game.
Big old book.
anyway.
The floor is yours, young Farley.
So the whole point is that each level is focused around a creature that you then have to go into the level, and then you have to make it do things, like by doing stuff like like stomping on it or throwing an egg at it or chucking it in some water or whatever, to then reveal what sort of properties this creature has. So and how the environment affects it and how your
Animal
actions affect
testing.
it.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
say.
basically, yeah. That's how it-
Covered in makeup.
Fucking hell.
Not cool. Not cool.
So the problem with this is that in the book there's probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 pages, I would say, per creature that you're supposed to sort of fill out for for like the different abilities or different sort of properties that it has. And you can I see, and the thing that I found irritating about this is that you do this through exploration and sort of trying things out, but I kept finding I was just discovering stuff kind of by accident. Like, I didn't feel like I was doing this on purpose, and it was just like, oh, this does this, oh, this does that, or whatever. But it didn't really feel like I was that I purposefully made these things happen. This was at the start of the game. So at the start of the game, it really felt like it was just chucking stuff at me, like all these discoveries, so that I could, sort of give an example of how the game worked. About 2/3 of the game is really just training. It's really sort of like training you how to use all these different creatures and the different properties they have. Because what's quite interesting about it is each of the levels is designed obviously around that particular creature's ability. So it'll be stuff like like inflates, like one of them inflates like a balloon, which then can sort of go underwater, and then it shoots the water out, and you can sort of like move around really quickly and smash through coral and stuff like that. There's another one which is like it's like these snails where you hit it with your tongue, and then it becomes like this like rigid stick that sticks up in a direction that's either up or it goes erect is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Yep.
good, yeah.
And then what happens is you can like bounce into it, and then you can then use this to like bounce around the level and stuff like that, which is fine. So it's like a snail that goes erect.
And this game is for children, you say?
Yeah. And
There's a wink, wink. There's a wink, wink for the adults playing.
Yeah.
It's like a penis.
For the dads.
Yeah, a bit of blue for the dads. Yeah.
And it's like some of these are more interesting than others. Like there's one that's like a skateboard which you then use to do tricks as you're sort of like going across like across the sea, so it becomes like a surfboard if you go in the water, and then you can like do tricks off waves and stuff like that, which is pretty good. And then there's another one which is like it's like kind of like a spider's web, whereby you can like sort of chuck it and then use it to like swing like around the place. So it's just like a whole ton of different creatures that all have different abilities. I mean, one of the ones that I think they showed in the videos before the game came out were for the one where it's like it's this creature that like makes bubbles that you can then like jump into, but then you can modify the creatures by like feeding them stuff like apples or like hot peppers and stuff like that, and then that changes the properties of whatever the creature's doing, which is pretty good. And as I said, about the first 2/3 of the game, it just feels like you are just like it's just introducing these new abilities, and it's just like training you in how to use them, and to try and explore so that you can find just so you can fill out this stupid book. Then it kind of changes and gets because the book, the book
slips.
Stupid fucking book for
well,
losers and kids.
The book's kind of annoying because it's like the way it talks is a bit irritating. I mean, it's not like Dr. Hakim, from It Takes Two. It's not funny like in any way, I wouldn't say. But then about 2/3 of the way through, the dynamics kind of change a bit because they start introducing the fact that you have like multiple creatures in each level. So then you have to like try and figure out how to sort of combine these or try and use them to get through obstacles and stuff like that. And you see, what's weird about it is that the game definitely does feel like it's designed for like a much like younger audience, like particularly like visually, and like you can't die, like it's impossible to die, and it's just about the exploration. But then also some of the puzzles in this they're not complicated or anything, but they do require like some dexterity, or they're not very, very easy, particularly as you get like further on in the game. And filling out like this book, some of the stuff it asks you to do is really obscure and weird. And it's like I don't know who would have.
Example.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it's stuff where you look at it and you just think, unless I use coins to unlock this, I don't think I ever would have figured that out. There's no way I'd have figured this out. So there's also like a coin system whereby you go through the levels and you pick up coins, and you can use these to unlock hints towards how to do these various things. So this is where I'd say that I'm a bit confused by it, because it's clearly aimed at like a younger audience, but then also I don't think that a really younger audience is going to be engaged enough to like really explore the whole of this game, because it's just a bit overly complicated is what I'm trying to say. Like the way that you discover the stuff that you're trying to find. And then I mean, I've heard that it becomes more interesting after you complete it, in inverted commas, like after you get through like the first 6 worlds, which I've now done, and then there is more like after that. And I'm hoping that what it's going to do is it's going to ramp up the challenge a bit, and then bring in more of these, like the different combinations of different creatures, so that it will then become a bit more interesting to play through. It's just, I mean, I enjoyed playing it. The time flew by, like while I was going through it. It's just that it's not, as I said, it's not a platformer, and it's weird. It's just a really weird game in the sense that I'm not sure who this is for. Like, I really am not sure who the target audience is for this. Maybe it's me, because I quite like it, but I don't think like Asher looked at it and he was just like, I've got no interest in playing this whatsoever. And I was like, yeah, and I'm not surprised, because yeah, if you're just looking at somebody playing it, it doesn't look amazing either. It's
Oh, you don't think? I mean, I'm just watching video now. I mean, it looks really pretty. I think. Like performance isn't great, or it's just not captivating you, or
it looks nice, but it looks like a Yoshi game. You know, it doesn't look. I don't know. I just don't. You know, with the like we talked about this already, like with the Switch 2, like doing stuff that's like really truly impressive, and there's nothing about this that is truly impressive, like visually. I wouldn't say.
I suppose, like, and you know, you say it looks like a Yoshi game. Actually, Nintendo have never really managed to replicate the style from Yoshi's Island.
Well, no, but they've gone in a
really
different
tried.
direction now.
Yeah, they always tried to do something a little bit different, didn't they? With the the crafted stuff and the woolly stuff, and you know, it's they've never really settled on a style for Yoshi since the early days. The only one of these sort of games that I've liked was Woolly World, and I thought that was really well done in terms of being a kids' game to a point, and then being a really challenging game for grown-ups. Here I'd heard a lot of no, this really is focused for kids, and I understand what you say. There are some strange decisions if that's the case, James. But yeah, I did look at this and thought, this isn't really speaking to me as a fan of platformers, certainly.
No, and that's why, like, Sean, you say, like, about Yoshi's Island, which was fantastic. This is nowhere near that, like in terms in any way, like in terms of, like, the puzzles or the exploration or the platforming. Certainly it's not, and it's just, I know it's a fun time. Like I've been enjoying playing it, but then also it's really nothing complete, like particularly special. Like it's not like, as you said, like Woolly World was better. Like I enjoyed that a lot more. And also, like, more recently, in terms of stuff that's been more aimed, I would say, at a younger audience, like the Kirby games, I think have been better than this. I would say, like particularly that the recent the Forgotten Land, I thought was a lot better than this is. It's fine. It's completely fine, but it's just a bit weird. Like this whole collecting stuff thing and trying to figure out how to manipulate these creatures it's odd. It's an odd mechanic, and as I said, so many times I felt like I was just discovering stuff by accident rather than experimenting, which is.
Have you spoken about the naming of them?
Yeah, you see, that's the other thing, because you can name stuff as well, but
go on.
But obviously you can't. Like you can't put in names.
No need to call me that.
Don't write that in the game.
There's almost certainly like a very, very long list of names which are not suitable. That you're
maybe
not
it was made by maybe it's that Ballproof from Stephen Murdoch.
Yeah,
you can't call me Chinny Bum Bums on there. It's I'm not surprised, but at the same time, you have just released a game where you can call things cum cake. So I don't know where they sit with this stuff at the moment, but yeah. Okay.
I mean, I tried to call something blowjob, but they weren't having it, and it would have worked because that was what the character was doing, and it's like
Also,
it was
what?
Well, no, like as in it was blowing things.
What?
So it's a lovely blowjob.
I mean, clip that, ladies and gentlemen. Clip away.
To the hills.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it's going to be amazing once I get to these like later levels, and it's going to do something really great. Because you see, the reviews for this have been really quite good, like from a lot of people.
It's because it's a Nintendo.
Well, I would say they've been good, but not kind of a level.
Well, yeah, not like
Nintendo
90s.
level of
But still, like for like a B tier game, which I'd say this is, they've still been pretty good, I would say.
Can we call this episode a lovely blowjob? Can we?
I mean, we can
probably not.
We can try.
Okay, all right. Bloody hell! Why?
Oh, what? Because of exactly. You know what I mean?
It's woke now, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't call our episode "Lovely Blowjob." Oh, because so Greta.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
That's right. Are we done with Yoshi?
Yeah.
Are you American, Dave?
Yoshi. I switch between the two of them. I'm never consistent with it. I don't know why. I don't
That's
know.
fine.
What happens? So generally, Americans will say Yoshi.
I can say Yoshi, but it's Yoshi.
Yeah. Like they say, the one that always gets me is Mario.
Yeah.
Does one up. Right. Shall we get to the next game that I'm really interested to hear is Matt talk about is the follow-up to Disco Elysium, if you believe that a follow-up is made by different people, although under the same name.
Yeah, well, we should probably get into this. Yeah, so this is Zero Parades for Dead Spies, the new game from Zawam. I'm sure everyone listening to this is aware of the controversy because we have talked about the
Well, you're
controversy.
American, Matt.
What did I say?
He said Zawam.
Is that, how do you pronounce it? That's how
No,
that is.
isn't it?
I mean, we had
Zawam's
A
like
to
the
Z
Spies.
earlier as well. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it being called that way, but what do I know? I was going to reveal something it's not worth revealing.
You make it. I'd say something, Sean. You make everyone feel really bad about how they talk. I hope you reflect on that at the end of this episode.
If there's any consolation, it's a fraction of how much I make myself feel bad. So.
Oh. I mean, I feel like we should probably go over the controversy again. Or I haven't got like an encyclopedic knowledge about it, but the general gist is that there was Zaum. Is that what we're saying? Zaum. The previous kind of 3 head creatives, I can't remember their name, but the 3 head creators were fired from the company, and then basically the company now own Disco Elysium, and there's always controversy about whether there's always court cases. I believe that 3 creatives tried to take the ownership back of Disco Elysium. Anyway, it's all a very messy thing. There's great people make games documentary. I think there's a couple. There's no clip documentary or 2 about the whole thing. So it's worth definitely mentioning that. I mean, there are obviously still tons of really, really talented developers there at the studio. Obviously, yes, these 3 very, very senior people who but basically there when found the company and found the culture of the company are gone, and there's always legal cases surrounding that. But there's also still loads of other talented developers which I think should be remembered. So I know lots of people have just discounted this game completely because of the way that the developers and stuff have been treated, but I still think there's a merit to play it for the people who are left behind, personally. Anyway, this is Zero Parades of Dead Spies. I'm playing this on my PC. It's coming to PlayStation soon. I noticed, I looked at it today, but no mention of Xbox. So, but it is coming to PlayStation at some point. Anyway, so, I mean, this is, it's not a follow-up, it's not a sequel to Disco Elysium, it's just like, it's the next game from the studio. But if you like Disco Elysium, it's very much more of the same. So, you play someone called Herschel Wilk, who is codenamed Cascade. You're a spy, and you wake up in this room with your double, which is the person who's there to, I think, basically brief you on the mission you're supposed to do. But they're basically catatonic or brain dead. They're basically in this room, and you're not sure what the hell you're doing because you've been sent back to this place where many years ago a former project you're on, a former kind of case you're on, went bad. But you've been sent back now to do another case. You've been in what are classed as the freezer, which is a place where spies go to do menial kind of admin work if something's gone wrong, basically. So there's this case. No, not case. What do you call it? Project? No.
Mission?
A mission? That's the word I was looking for. A mission went wrong. But you're now back there, and but you don't know what the hell's happening because the person who's there supposed to brief you is not in a fit state. So that's what the mystery is, and I believe now. So I played about 10 hours, but I will say about 3 of those hours was me trying to get the Steam controller, which I also bought, to work in the way I explicitly wanted it to work. So I bought Steam controller because I thought, why not? Wanted something new to play with, and it's got trackpads on the controller, and I really wanted to basically just play it just with trackpads. And I'm still, even now, after like 2 hours of trying to sort it out, 2 or 3 hours trying to sort it out, haven't quite got it done properly. So you say, Sean, you don't use trackpads on your Steam controller, on your Steam Deck, right?
Deck. No, not really. No.
So the issue I found, and I know there are so many settings in the back end of Steam to change anything and everything, but the issue I found is I'm using the trackpad to move the cursor around, and then when I go to click the cursor on like an option, it's so sensitive, it moves a bit.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
So I mean, but this is definitely something that can be fixed and changed. But I've watched a bunch of videos saying I'll change this and change it to mouse region instead of mouse and 100%. Anyway, there's lots of things to fix, but I'm still playing with this. And I'm still enjoying it. I'm just using the A button rather than like clicking into the thing. Also, I won't say it's just tap to click, not click in. But anyway, whatever. anyone listening, I'm sure there's ways to sort that. Anyway, it's very this game it's incredibly Disco Elysium, but there are some kind of like different changes I think which are really useful. So you go around, you talk to people, you have skill checks with dice, just like Disco Elysium. You have skill trees. You're trying to uncover this mystery. You're finding kind of like hidden submissions. The more you talk to people, actually, there's this mystery telephone here. There's this boat that's on one side of town that might be haunted. So the more people you talk to, the greater mystery kind of appears in the story. But ultimately, you're there to, I think, find your old crew or build a new crew and find out what the hell you're there mission wise. But just like Disco Elysium with dice rolls and stuff, now you have 3 extra kind of functions which govern your fatigue, your anxiety, and your delirium. So you can get dice rolls and skill checks wrong, just like you would do in Disco Elysium, but you don't die in this. So what happens if you get stuff wrong is that you can you have your state of fatigue, anxiety, and delirium. I think once you hit 15 out of like a maximum of 20, then like things start going like really risky with. And when you hit 20 and you don't die, but essentially then says, as like a permanent way to kind of mess you up, you have to reduce one of your permanent skill or one of your skills you've already upgraded permanently.
Right.
So you might have
like Citizen Sleeper in that sense, right? Because that did a similar thing, didn't it?
Well, yeah, as in like with broken dice, or
So in Citizen Sleeper, like if you fully died, it would be like, look, this doesn't end the game, but it just sort of compromises you long term.
Yeah. So I've done. I have a couple of moments where I've been like too delirious or too knackered, and that's happened. So, and I've had to permanently reduce one of my skills. You can obviously earn skill points and kind of increase them again, but I'm not sure how that's kind of gonna rectify itself or change my story. But so skill wise, I think so. Disco Elysium had like 20 odd or 30 odd skills. This just got 15. So there's like 5 are in faculty of action, which is your physical side. There's relation, which is talking to people, and there's intellect, which is also kind of different ways to engage in conversations. So yeah, in my 10 hours, I am absolutely loving this. But I will say I feel I'm probably too stupid to understand it in the way I kind of need to. There's a lot of stuff about kind of communism and politics and art and lots of stuff which is like it's just above my intelligence, honestly. Where a clever person would be like, yeah, that's a really interesting way of looking at the world. And there is like I
just tell me who the bad guys are.
Kind of, but like it uses like incredibly highfalutin language and like loads of nouns and verbs I've never heard of. Like, okay, what does that word even mean? Google that. Oh, it means this. Okay, cool. Like,
but how much of that is like is like the character you're playing as like not really supposed to understand much of what's going on either, or is it just that?
Well, so you have all your skills. There's 15 skills I mentioned, and every time you,
it really sounded like you were just ignoring his questions.
No. I'm getting into it.
I'm going to move on to something else now.
I'm getting into it. So basically, like as you're having these dialogue conversations and talking to people, these skills are kind of appearing, and they would talk. Basically, the skills are talking to you. So the skills. So there's one called like records, where you have like it's like encyclopedic knowledge of everything you've done before. Records in like the dialogue will just like appear narrated by your character in a slightly different way, and the skills are using these incredibly kind of highfalutin language, but then the detective, the spy you're playing as, then like her regular voice comes in. It feels like she's battling against these intrusive thoughts and all these kind of skills that she's developed from either being a spy or going through trauma or whatever she's done, are talking to her and talking back at her, and they're the ones who are kind of talking on a different level. So yeah, there's still lots to get my head around, but ultimately I'm just so enraptured with the atmosphere, just like I was with Disco Elysium. Really, I know this game and has had controversy and the studios had controversy, but the writing is still unbelievable. I think even though it's kind of some of it does go over my head, you can't help but be enraptured with how the story is progressing, or how like the characters are talking to each other, how like the people you're talking to are describing things, describing the politics of the location, describing like fascism within like the area, or these other kind of government structures that are happening, and and it's fascinating. It really, really is fascinating. And so as much as I'm kind of struggling in some aspects to really get my head around the various systems, and then on top of that, all kind of the various story elements, I've stopped playing Forza to play this basically. So that's why I haven't got as many mascots in Forza in the last 3 or 4 days, because I've been playing this. Because
I've noticed,
it's just I mean I absolutely love it so far, and it's opening up. I've met more characters again. The difference between this and Disco Elysium is you were the detective you were in Disco Elysium. You had also Ken. Was it Ken? Like your Kim, so Kim, you're kind of psychic. Here it's just you at the beginning, but I'm meeting more people now that know you or know of you. So I'm starting to build more of alliances around with people in town. You still, so like the town you start off in is like a little kind of market town. There's a bazaar, and you're talking to this one woman because you're trying to get information about your catatonic kind of partners who had previously spent a few days in town, so you're trying to work out clues like where he was, where he went. And he talks to one woman. She's actually, my dad went to his payphone, and he's obsessed with conspiracy theories, and now people are disappearing. And then you try and work out what that means, and where that person went before. So as well as the main story, you also pick up a bunch of kind of side missions and stuff as well. You also have these things, I'm not sure what they're called, I did write down, dramatic encounters. And so there's a very early one where you're in this market and you feel like someone is chasing you or they're being suspicious, and you have a dramatic encounter whereby it's like a multi-stage event basically, where I was being chased to this market, and it says, okay, your 3 options: you can either try and blend into the crowd, or you can run away. And then there's a dice roll there, and then you do that, and next one is, okay, you can go this way, or you can go that way, or you can attack, or you can run away. So these are kind of almost like larger QTs, which I think are really interesting. I absolutely fucked that first one so badly. I was supposed to the first option in this encounter is you can either you can blend into the crowd, or you can basically put his outfit on. And I put like this giant massive mascot head on, which obviously this person could see me really easily because I'm wearing a massive mascot head. And then I couldn't really walk or run properly. And then the next bit is someone went to help me, and I was like, no, actually, like the dice roll, I was going to fail it. So I thought I'll leave that. So I'll do the other thing, which is charge the person who was following me. And then I just slipped over because I screwed a dice roll. And then, he basically almost like killed me. I'm just like, and then she was like, I saw what you did there. You're the worst spy of all time. And I had to, leave between, the tail between my legs. But it's good. I'm enjoying it. So I know you, Sean, played it and didn't enjoy the demo so much. You're still not tempted to.
As I said at the time, I don't think that's the demo's fault. I don't think it's the game's fault. I think that is just me. But like I say, I fully accept that. Yeah, management shouldn't have done what they did, but this game being really good is not. Do you know what I mean? Those two things can exist at the same time. I'm still like, obviously, it's cool to see. It's cool to hear that it's good. I still don't think I want to give them any money. But I'm glad it's because it would have just been even sadder if they put this out and it was shit, right? And everyone was just like, oh, that's the end of Zome as we know it. So it is better that it's good, obviously. So,
I'm really curious by this. I probably will play it when it comes out on PlayStation. I think because
I think if you, I mean, I've read a bunch of reviews and seen it, and largely people are saying that it's not going to quite topple what Disco Elysium did, but if you like that is
a very, very high bar.
Exactly, it's an incredibly high bar to hit and or to get over. So if you like that, you'll probably love this. I just can't help but being raptured by the atmosphere and the writing is as much as it can be kind of highfalutin and stuff at points. I'm bloody loving it.
Sorry, I popped out for a second. Did you talk about the music at all? Like, how's the soundtrack?
Yeah, so like the music, it's less about kind of memorable music tracks. It's more just about ambience. But again, it's very Disco Elysium. It's just got that kind of vibe. I'm not really sure how I'll even describe it, but it's everything about this game is the atmosphere. I absolutely love how it looks as well. Like you can, it's got very similar style to Disco Elysium, but the way you can see almost like the pen marks, the brush strokes within the environment, it feels a lot more vibrant than Disco Elysium did. There's a lot more colour, and I'm in like the first or the second area now of the game, so I'm sure It's going to get a lot more vibrant in other things I've seen in videos, whereas it's quite a lot of it's quite brown, wasn't it, in Disco Elysium? So a lot more vibrancy in terms of color. In terms of like negative points, so there is like a map, but the map does not really help you in. It lists, oh, there might be like a place to buy a drink, or so basically with these various elements I told you about, fatigue, anxiety, and delirium, you can have like a cigarette which may like reduce anxiety but increase, or it might reduce fatigue but maximize anxiety, and you can take drugs, and again they might make you more anxious but also like help you with fatigue. There's lots of things you can do. And you can see these kind of ATMs in the area, you can see phone boxes in the area, you can see places to buy these things, and those are listed on the map. But there's a lot of things I'm discovering which I'm actually just taking pictures on my phone or taking screenshots with, which aren't listed. And so it's not really, not holding a hand. Like there's bits I'm like, okay, well this thing here needs a pry, like something to pry open a toolbox, or needs like a lockpick. But those things aren't listed on the map, which would be nice, but so instead I'm having to like write down, okay, that box there that needs a lockpick. So there's lots of things that could be a lot better. You can fast travel in the map, which is nice, but I'm still kind of struggling a bit in kind of getting around and remembering where things were or where things are. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Again, like the atmosphere, it's so compelling. Like the other night I was tired, but I was like, I just want to keep playing and see what happens next, really. So yeah, that's zero praise for Dead Spies.
So is it PC only at the moment?
It's PC at the moment, but it's coming to PS5.
No Mac.
I don't know if the Steam version also works on Mac, but
yeah, because I do want to play it on my laptop rather than the PS5. To be honest with you, I think it's important to play these games with mouse and keyboard.
it's just PC.
Just PC. Yeah, I mean
Currently,
the
yeah.
original Disco Elysium I had to play through Nvidia.
We
Whatever.
both played through
Yeah,
GeForce
GeForce Now, yeah.
GeForce Now. Yeah, I wonder if that is still an option. I might.
A lot of people talk highly of it, so
Yeah, I've still not tried it. Apparently, it's like, especially like if you play it on, do GeForce Now on the Steam Deck, it's fucking awesome. Apparently.
Yeah, I have got an account still, and it was free for a while, wasn't it? Like you've got like a lower version of it for free. I might have to familiarise. Maybe that is a good way of playing it, because it will just take me back to when I was playing Disco Elysium. It was.
yeah.
I'm sort of surprised they haven't, like, given the resources that studio must now have. I'm surprised they haven't managed to like a simultaneous console release. But
Yeah, because I don't know when it's coming on PS5. Again, one of the reviews just said like PS5 coming later. But yeah, I'm going to keep playing this. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's only going to get better, no doubt, because I absolutely love Disco Elysium. And yeah, like the protagonist is very different to Dubois. What's his first name? Harry Dubois. Yeah, but yeah, I think she's funny. Like the spy you're playing as, and yeah, let's see what happens. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. There's only one more game on the list to talk about. I think that's on your list, Sean.
yeah, I got one more. Space Haven streamed this last week. It is a game where you build a spaceship and people live on it, and you have to travel around, gather resources, try not to die. Turns out living in space is quite hard work. I am so tired and very hot. I was going to so everything I felt like I was going to say about this, I'm just like, oh, fucking, what is it? Yeah, you need energy and water and food and that. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's the sort of interactions you have with it sort of reminded me a lot of RimWorld. It's clearly taken a lot from that. I think it's been a long time since I talked about RimWorld. One of these sort of very in-depth, not necessarily strategy game. RimWorld's like top-down. You're building, you're settling on like an alien world, but you've only got sort of rudimentary tech. But there's like really deep simulation stuff going on. So like if a character gets into combat, it'll know exactly which of their limbs got injured or whatever, and then if there's no way of healing it properly, that limb can get diseased, and then you might have to amputate it, and then you have to research how to make artificial limbs and blah blah blah. Like loads and loads of depth in the simulation. This doesn't have so much of that, but the way you interact with it is quite similar in that all the people in your crew will just sort of do their thing. Like, so say you want something building, you go, right, build this here. Someone will do it automatically, right? As long as there's resources for it and stuff. But then also you can draft a character, so you can click on one of your crew and draft them, and that essentially lets you have sort of fine control over what they do. So generally, you let them do whatever they want. But then if you're going into a combat situation, then you're like, right, I need to draft these people. I need to actually direct them around and make sure they don't die. What is cool is as you're traveling around through space, there's sort of asteroids and stuff where you can mine resources, but then also you might need to trade with other ships. So there's all different factions who you have like, you know, a sort of relationship stat with. So there's some you're going to be friendly with. There's like slavers who obviously not a huge fan. And what's cool is like you end up getting into fights. So like I teamed up with like this other ship. That was basically this ship was like, we've got a mission for you. We want to go take out this slaver ship, but we need your help. I was like, right, cool. I don't have my ship doesn't really have any guns on it, but sure. And then basically was able to get into a fight with this slaver ship where like the ship that I was friends with was like exchanging fire with the slaver ship, and then I just set up an away team and then sent them over on a shuttle and then got on board the ship and was like running around shooting people at the same time. And I was like, that's fucking cool. Really enjoyed that. But even like without the combat stuff, just the day-to-day management stuff is really satisfying. You're completely free to build the ship in like any shape you want. Like you can carry on just carry on expanding it like as you go. So say you like so you've got your ship set up the way you want, but then you get an extra 2 crew members and you're like, well shit, where are they going to go? Or there's more sort of systems or whatever you want to add to the ship. You just literally just drag out an area in it, and you have like 2 little builder ships that just sort of go outside into space and just add more to the ship, so it sort of keeps expanding as you go. It's just so it's really nice sort of slowly building out your ship and adding more and more stuff, trying to keep things comfortable for the crew, but then stuff like so there's like derelict ships like knocking around. So as you're flying around every so often, you'll find a derelict ship and they'll have loads of resources on them, but also they'll be full of like aliens or killer robots or whatever. So you clear one of them out, you get all the stuff off it. And like I did that on a ship that had all aliens on it, and then like a day later I noticed like one of my crew was like passed out on the floor, and I was like, oh shit, what's happened? And I like clicked on them, and they had like a spore infection.
Oh no!
So they basically spat out a load of spores and then collapsed in the middle of the ship, and then it started happening to other people, and I was like, "Oh fuck me!"
Quarantine.
I've got one medical bed. I was like, "Fucking hell, build more med beds quick." So yeah, shit like that is fun. What is really cool, and I'm looking in James's direction. So as I was playing like the main game mode where you have a ship, you're flying around, you're trying to you're like a pathfinder for like a larger fleet that's trying to find a new home to settle on, right? But then I noticed there's another game mode where you're just a space station. So basically you can Deep Space Nine it.
That was nice.
You're a space station that's near some strategically important resource. Mm-hmm. So then you're, rather than you traveling around, you're relying on other ships coming to you, and then you trade with them, and you just build out just this one station of your own. I was like, oh, that's sort of an interesting, essentially the same game, but just a different relationship with like the world around it, I guess. Really enjoyed it. I streamed sort of 2 hours of it and then just carried on playing it till about 2 a.m.
Wow.
Good game.
Sounds really interesting. Not something I particularly like to play, but I love the fact that I love the sound of it.
Keeps me happy.
I love the idea of having the brain capacity to play it, Sean.
Yeah.
But right now I'm playing my Brum Brum game working where it gives points if I crash. Look, it is insanely hot.
I was hoping
I think we should
play this.
No questions.
Shall we say
2 hour mark. We will save the questions for next week. And if you moan about that, remember we nearly cancelled tonight because holy shit. So should we get straight to
Yes, I'll be able to talk about Zero Praise a little bit better next week when I've got a whole brain to talk about it, I think. So streams this week. Is Play by the Wheel happening on Wednesday, John? No. Okay, so no streams this week. There's no Play by the Wheel, and James is away, and we're doing no Reanimal, but we will endeavour to come back the week after next. But if you want to watch our old streams, you want to watch Sean play the game you just mentioned, Space Haven, that's on our YouTube channel, as is James and I, our most recent Reanimal stream. Just go to youtube.com/TCJS to watch those. You can also watch the VODs of the podcast over there as well. But back on Twitch, if you want to, you can connect your Amazon account with your Twitch account, and you get something called Prime Gaming. You get a free subscription with that to give to any channel of your choice. Want to go over to our channel and give us your free subscription. Really appreciate those that do. The website is tcjs.co with links to our amazing Discord community, our Patreon if you want to support what we're doing. If you want to watch us watch the Generation game, our bonus show is out this week as well towards the end of the week.
2 episodes of the Generation game.
Two
Matt. I think
episodes of that. Yes, it's all over patreon.com/tcjs and tcjs.co for links to that and all our socials and everything. And Phil will in the chat say any talks over planned for Summer Game Fest shows. Definitely 100%. Those are, well, we probably going to start like the next week, I think. Once the Sony one happens, then it's the following weekend, isn't it? It's like for Microsoft. But yeah, we'll 100% be doing talks overs of a bunch of them shows, but that's more of a next week thing.
The Xbox thing is annoying because it's at like 6 p.m, which got kids.
It's never a good. Yeah, it's never a good time for us, is it?
I will be doing that. I guess on Sunday. Yes, it's a week tomorrow for
6 p.m.
Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, but we'll plan it. We're 100% going to do talk servers. We just haven't planned that explicitly yet, but at least one of us will definitely be there for them for sure. And that's it.
And we will catch you next week. Thank you so much for living it. We hope it cools down a bit by then. Take care, everyone. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.